It is time for Street Talk. What we're going to talk about this week are 4 episodes of Corrie, 2 hours worth of Corrie goodness. Was it all good? Let's find out. But before then, we've got some clickbait, of course, to kick off the show. And this might start off a little bit of discussion about this week's episodes as well. Gemma, we have got a couple from the Mirror. First one being Coronation Street star Daniel Brocklebank takes swipe at soap after being axed. I've only got this as part of the quiz because Jonathan sent it to us because we did already discuss this on ourselves, didn't we?
We did have a discussion about this because we always wonder what's going to get twisted.
I know. Well, it's funny because I did the interview with him the other day and then the next morning, or maybe lunchtime, I can't remember, I did a little Google news search with Dan Brocklebank just to see if anyone had picked it up, and they hadn't. And then I was only, half an hour or so ago that I discovered this one, Jordan Beck. So, yes. He hasn't taken a swipe at the soap, of course. He said, what did he say? I can't
he doesn't
remember.
miss working on the show, but he misses the people.
Yeah. And that's
a swipe.
That's not a swipe at all. It was such a lovely interview. Like, every time I do that, I'm like, no, I'm not going to allow anything that the tabloid press will turn into clickbait. But I am glad, and I told you this as well, that somebody in the comment section on the article said that's not a swipe. But hey, if it gets people listening to our interviews, thank you very, very much. Jordan and other journalists for mentioning us. I'm not going to say
this is exactly what happened in this example, but I will add that often they don't write their own headlines. Ooh. Did you know this?
No.
Often an editor will write the headline.
Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm. For maximum impact.
Oh.
I mean, you're terrible with writing titles for things, aren't you?
What do you mean?
What do you think? You looked at me so surprised then. We've had discussions about this before.
Titles of what? Oh, yes, we have.
Of YouTube videos. You'll write the most boring thing.
I'm not the best clickbaiter.
This is Coronation Street.
Yeah. Anyway, look,
Like, why? Make it sexy.
Liverpool Echo,
make it
Gemma.
Contentious.
Liverpool Echo, here we go. Coronation Street viewers work out identity of Carl's dad after Debbie's bombshell.
They're not saying it's bloody thingy, are they?
Who?
Her dad.
Bill?
Yeah.
No, oh my gosh, no.
People are crazy.
Look, there's a whole lot that we need to unpick with this week after weeks of speculation. And again, like I did on the Street Talk short this week, if you listen to that, I do sincerely apologise that I know that I robbed some people of the surprise there. And we didn't know.
Well, look.
If we'd have known
Coronation
this,
Street
we would not have mentioned
the ability to contact us at any time and let us know. Any twist
that they know what they don't want us to talk about.
Yeah,
and we won't.
We didn't speculate about Corridor because they asked us not to.
No, but we 100% didn't know this. It was just a theory that I saw online, and I was like, yes, that makes utter sense. But I can totally get that some people would have been peeved.
Nobody said anything, so
yeah, well, anyway.
Right,
so there's Coronation Street fans, according to the Liverpool Echo, has worked out the identity of Carl's dad. Well, this is the actual answer to this is completely lame. Because apparently, with Carl's date of birth being whenever it is in 1986, 9 months before that, Debbie and that lot were moved away from the street, so it isn't actually anyone on the street. So it's like it's not Curly or anything. Don't worry. Some Twitter person said some German lad. That's the identity.
I was going to say that.
Some German lad. Guy. But then somebody replied to that, I think, somewhere and said, oh, well, maybe they were living in Southampton at the time, so maybe it was some Southamptonian. Maybe it's your dad.
Is that why you said it was you?
Yeah.
That's a very weird thing to say.
I was only 3 at the time. So anyway, lots more to come on that baby bombshell later. Next up, Gemma, the Metro have run a story. I think there was Macy at the Metro.
To me to wonder who the dad was. Which is really dumb.
I did a little bit actually, but I don't know. There might something unlikely.
But
we will find out a name at some point.
Who've been in the show for decades, who we don't know who the dads are, like Todd and Chesney. We don't know who their dads are, exactly. So don't hold your breath.
Right, Metro, Macy, this says, run this article. Coronation Street fans baffled at this year's most intriguing new... No, that's completely wrong. Sorry, Macy. Coronation Street fans baffled as the year's most intriguing new character won't return.
Oh, this is Dr. Harper.
Dr. Harper, you're right. This was
Vincent
big news
Harper.
in the Corrie fandom this week. Lovely Vincent Harper will not be making a comeback to the cobbles, according to soap queen Sharon Marshall, who knows things. Mm-hmm. He's not going to be back.
I'm not surprised at all. I'm really surprised that people thought he would be back.
I mean, there's still unanswered questions. Like, I was thinking that it would be revealed that he knew Billy at some point, but he just didn't want to say anything.
He did say, didn't he?
No, he didn't. He said, gay vicar, and then Ben was like, how do you know?
Yeah, and he said, no, he did say later on, I was part of the club scene.
But he didn't say with Billy. He was talking to, I think, Jan Whitberry's daughter, just talking about his clubbing days over, and I made the link.
You're supposed to fill the blanks in.
Yeah, which I did, and I was wrong apparently.
Why?
So
Why were you wrong?
Because I thought that we may have a link between him and Billy, and we didn't.
Yes, I think there was a link between him and Billy, and that's how he knew him. But it doesn't mean he's going to be in the show.
Okay.
I'm sure Millie.
He was good.
Billy's got like a milkman and a postman and everybody that lives the other side of that street who know who he is. They're never going to get a look. And he's got a whole load of parishioners who know who he is, don't have any place in the show. He's dead.
He was a good character.
He's dead now.
We don't need any more emergency services workers.
I took that
in the
episode
show,
as being a very clear. This is a special episode, and the whole thing felt like we were watching a different Dr. Harper show. And they were just a special guest in that show. That's how it felt to me. I didn't expect him to come back.
But anyway, I mean, the thing is, he might.
But why would, honestly, I'm going to say this, controversially, if he did come in the show, he would be so boring, you would be begging him to leave because he is, he's a doctor, he's a surgeon, right? He's got to be stable and dull. He can't be off having affairs and running people down.
I know, think of all those ears, noses and throats that rely on him.
Dr. Gaddis left her car in town that time, and since then we've heard no hide nor hair of her. They kicked her out of the show because she's too flighty, can't be trusted.
She was on something else recently. Somebody posted a picture up, but I can't remember what it was now. At
this stage,
I'm starting to get a little bit worried that we might have seen the last of Dr. Gaddis.
She got Moiraed.
She might have been Moiraed. We did get a mention of her the other week, didn't we? And Sally, was saying, oh, Sue. I call her Sue. So she does still exist in Weatherfield, but there's still plenty of medical issues going on Coronation Street. But everyone just goes to the hospital now, don't they? Like the whole medical centre is a bit superfluous because nobody has a little minor medical issue anymore. It's full scale. I got cancer or something along those lines.
Yeah, it's always the worst thing it could be.
Okay, last one. Also from the Mirror. Back to the Mirror. Worried Coronation Street fans work out Jodie's plan for Shona and David.
She's going to seduce David.
Yes.
That's what I would do.
Had you seen any articles or speculation about that? You were bang on the money there.
Because I think that she's going to seduce Nick.
Really?
Yeah, because Nick's been so horrible to her. It's obvious that he fancies her.
Often they do, don't... Oh my gosh.
The cat's attacking the Lego.
Abby's jumping all over our Lego. Come here, you. Right. You're right. Quite often characters that are going to have a bit of a relationship have an antagonistic start.
Yeah,
watch out, Toya. Watch out, Toya.
I think she needs to watch out because if Jodie gets a taste of that delicious lasagna...
Yes. And he has a slice of our Nick. Well, Toya turned down the proposal just last year, didn't she?
I bet Jodie would like to be Mrs. Tilsley.
Maybe. By the way, everybody, speaking of our Toya, have you noticed, because I'm going to say we have, but we hadn't, Currypedia pointed it out to us, have you noticed that Toya is now credited as Toya Battersby? Did we mention this last week? I don't think we did.
It's official.
It's definitely official now.
It's not a mistake.
We have double-checked. We have had confirmation from our sources at Coronation Street that yes, she is back to being a Battersby again. No idea why, but she is no longer Toya Habib. But come on, let's face it, who's called her Toya Habib? So we got
DS Swain.
She did actually, didn't she? So we've got a couple of Battersby sisters back on the show again. If only they would have some things to do together.
But Leanne's leaving.
Leanne is not leaving. That was funny today, wasn't it? Did anyone else think that sounded exactly like the sort of thing that characters say when they are mere days away from emigrating to the other side of the world?
Monday she's there with a suitcase, see you later.
But it looks like that Eva has kind of prevented that from happening quite so quickly with the potential of her buying into the Rovers. But yeah, the wording of it was very much like, oh, okay. And it's funny because sometimes when characters say that I'm going to go, sometimes we have to be careful how we talk about it on the podcast, don't we? Because usually we know that yes, an exit is happening. Like, you know, a couple of weeks ago when Shanique was just like, sorry, Dee Dee was saying, oh, I think I might go to Singapore. And we're like, are we saying, well, that's her definitely leaving then? Or do we say, oh, I wonder if she'll go?
I don't know whether there's any point of us doing that.
But in this instance, well, as far as we know, and I think we probably would know, Leanne is not leaving Coronation Street.
She's certainly not going to go somewhere hot with her luggage on Monday.
No, so any hardcore Leanne fans, don't worry about
that. When they exit like that, you get told.
Yeah.
It's not like a shock surprise that somebody leaves in a taxi.
Although, Bobby. I know.
Oh yeah, that's
I know
true.
Nobody cares about Bobby, but it has been known for people to just slip away quietly in the night.
Yeah.
But I think that Leanne deserves a bit more of a fanfare than that, to be fair. Right, so what are we talking about this week, Gemma? How many storylines? 4. Just 4. Some of them are merged together a little bit. We're going to start off with the Kill Bill storyline, which is a bit
annoying.
What? That was last week. That was the Todd and Theo story, but that didn't get a whole lot of airing this week. But there was bits of it that merged into the Debbie. So everything related to Debbie, Billy's death, Summer, Todd, Theo, Ronnie. That's all going to be our first one, and of course the new little information that we've learned this week about Carl and his parentage. Next up, Mega's Preggers. Little chuckle from that one, says Gemma.
I saw you say that already.
Oh yeah, I did. I put that on the short this week, didn't I? Well, you know, that's wrote itself, that one. We had then got the Show Me the Mummy storyline. I've also put Shoujo there as a bit of a... I'm not going to say shipping name because they're sisters and that would be weird. But Shona and Jodie together sorely make Shoujo, which, as an anime aficionado, means...
I'm not. Oh God! It just leave me alone.
Does it mean girl?
It's a genre of. It's for girls. It means girl. It's a genre. As well.
Oh, there we go. So shoujo
leave
it
me
is.
Alone.
And then we all got Beck behind bars. Not that she was ever, like back behind bars. Huh?
Yeah, she's gone.
Why are you glaring at me? Why are you giving me a bit of a Maggie Driscoll there, Gemma? Would you like to do the Debbie story?
You turn the hot blanket off.
Are you getting a little bit warm? Are you?
The cat's sitting on me and it's hot.
There you go. Electric blanket off. We're cold. We're cold and old. We like our Coronation Street unspoiled, and we like a hot blanket when we're recording the podcast in January. We're over 40 now. Come on.
What's the temperature in it? The temperature in here is 13 degrees.
Okay, maybe that's cold. Not a hot blanket weather, is it? Okay, do you want to do... do you reckon?
13 degrees inside. It's cold.
Would you like to do the Debbie storyline, or would you like to do the Megan storyline?
I think it's like not recommended for health that you should go below 16 or 17.
Oh, well, we're okay. Yeah, which one do you want to do? Do you want me to do this? Do you want to do this?
You do whatever you like.
I'll do this one, if you like then. So, we got Ryan on Monday telling Debbie and Carl... Sorry, telling Debbie about Carl creaming the money off this business account. And all week, Debbie has just been deflecting any kind of suspicion or criticism or undermining of any sort about Carl, hasn't she? I mean, ever since... the last few weeks, really, she's like, no, nothing wrong with Carl, he doesn't do anything wrong, it's all my fault, and it's the same here. And obviously we've been saying, it's because she is his mum, and this week we finally do get that confirmation. But she's like, no, Ryan, sorry, don't be so ridiculous. My
critique here is that I don't think that this is consistent behaviour.
What?
I don't think that she's always like this. I think they just decided that she's his mum, and then they've changed her behaviour since...
I do wonder...
in the past, month or so.
I would love to know, and if anybody knows, please feel free to tell us. When was that decision made?
They're not going to tell you. It's a secret, isn't it? It's better to not know.
Oh, please.
It's better to not know.
Maybe it is. I mean, it's tough, isn't it? Like, because Carl was brought in... When did he come in? At March sort of time? February, March? I don't know, last year. Which is a fairly long time in storyline terms, but equally not. Because when Carl came on screen, they were definitely planning this time of the year by that point, weren't they? Because they planned way in advance.
Oh yeah, by the time he appeared, but when they were writing the scripts, they would have written them months before that.
It's the whole how long have they known that Becky was alive kind of thing. Like from when Lisa was made a regular character. Was there always the intention that Becky was alive? I'm going to say probably not, but...
Can I just be rude here and say that I think the answer to both of these questions is going to be incriminating, and so they would not say.
Fair enough. I won't tell anyone. With this one, it's how long and at what point did they say, right, so in 5 months' time, 6 months' time, 2 months' time, we're going to reveal this. We need to change Debbie's behaviour. We need to start dropping a few hints in. It's interesting, isn't it? And then, but then it also kind of makes you think, okay, so now if I watch some classic Corrie, if I watch a bit of 1990s or early 2000s or what have you, and Bill Webster's there, am I going to be watching him differently now? Am I going to be thinking, that character...
He took that secret to his grave.
He did, didn't he?
Well done, Bill.
He did, Bill. But all this time, he's been carrying this massive, massive secret from Kevin, and they had a good relationship on the whole, didn't they? But he was lying to him, so that means that pretty much all the time we've known Bill, he's been a big liar. And that kind of... It adds a bit of tainting to him, unless you take the stance of... Well, he wasn't a liar back then because that hadn't been invented then. They only just came out with this idea this year.
It wasn't his... surely it's not his secret to tell.
No. It's Debbie.
Not tainted him because Debbie told him not to say anything.
It's nice to be able to think of ways that make you not feel worse about a character that you're actually quite fond of. But
yeah,
anyway.
I think they do this though. They definitely do this with lots of stories, and I'm sorry I can't think of any specific examples where you know full well that they must have known something before a character acts in a certain different way, and they only write it in. It's like leaving. It's not the same concept at all, but like the fact that Yasmin was like, "Oh yeah, I've been thinking about this for months, and I've been doing this, that, and the other thing, and now I'm going to London." I mean, what? I don't get why not put that in. But is it because people get bored too quickly?
I mean, in Coronation Street, you can compare it to lots of revelations of I'm not actually your X, I'm your Y, which it started off way back in the early days of it with Betty and Gordon. Yeah, because Betty was originally Gordon's aunt, and then it was revealed. Was it a 69, 70? I can't remember. Maybe a bit later that she was his mum. And that was Bill Kenwright spoke about that and saying that Betty Driver didn't like it and Irene Sutcliffe didn't like that because they played it differently.
It was there. They were annoyed.
Yeah, and then we didn't have it very much after that, and then you had like Fred, I'm not your uncle, I'm your dad. There's been a few, and even that it's like, so is Fred. Has Fred been lying all that time to Ashley? No, because he was originally written as being his uncle. But then I could kind of understand it a bit more. I don't know. Maybe I'm overthinking.
I just don't think that Debbie's been acting quite as protective and maternal over Carl until about a month or two ago, which is when people started guessing. And I don't know why they've done this, because her behaviour has changed and it made people guess.
You could probably put it down to things like the dementia and the insecurity.
That it makes it more plausible, and they needed to make people go, "Oh yeah, it does make sense in hindsight," because it doesn't really if you go back longer than like 2 months.
But maybe if you do go back, there will be some clues there. We're saying there weren't, but maybe
I don't
there
think
were.
There were. I'm going to say I'm fairly sure.
Well, people started speculating about this because we did it on the clickbait, didn't we, back in September, October sort of time, and we were like, no way, that'd be ridiculous. Of course that's not true. So there must have been something way back then even that made people start to think about it first. But you're right, I think back from when he first came into it, I wouldn't say there was anything you could read into Debbie's behaviour to make you think that she's like, oh, it's my son, he's come back.
I think the trouble with these like twists is that everybody is writing everything. It's the monkeys writing Shakespeare. We're all coming up with people are writing anything. So probably there is somebody who's written that they reckon Bill Webster is Carl's dad and Debbie's his mum, and at a certain point, one of these theories is going to be true.
I wonder whether, because I remember when this theory came up, or maybe it was more recently, I don't know, when Debbie was in the freezer with Kevin that time, and she said something about not having any kids, and clearly that was written when there was no indication that she was...
She thought she was going to... They both thought they were going to die, so it's such a weird thing to say.
Yeah.
To carry on lying, to protect a lie, Why?
But
Why
then,
would you do that?
but then you could also say, if I was to watch every single Debbie scene ever, or every single Bill scene ever, did any of them ever say anything that would have totally contradicted it? Maybe. And is somebody going to stumble across it like years down the line? But then what would you say that would contradict it? Like, I swear on my life, I've never had a baby. I don't know. But
I don't care.
This fiction, it happens. It's forgivable, and actually, I don't mind it as a twist. But anyway, we haven't had the reveal yet. That was my commentary after less than a line of notes here.
Does mutter mean mother?
Yes, it does.
Well, why didn't they say that? I don't speak German.
Right, come on, we haven't got that far yet. So Debbie is defending Carl when Ryan's saying he's nicking money off the business. Obviously, she knows it at this point, but she won't let Ryan find out that it's actually true. Carl said, look, I just haven't had time to sort out the paperwork or update it or what have you. It's all right, don't worry about it. And then, no, this is when Debbie gets Carl on his own, and then he promises that he wouldn't do it. So did she not know at that point? I don't.
What are you talking about?
I'm trying to remember the order that things happened this week.
Maybe I'll just say one thing about Debbie acting differently, is maybe that it coincided with Elaine getting in touch with her, and it made it give her a kick up the arse, and maybe Elaine said to her what she said to Ronnie, which is like, just look after Carl because I won't be here.
Yeah. Anyway, Kevin's talking with Ryan later and says, look, you need to get Debbie on your own. I do, one of us does, me probably. Debbie turns up and Kevin says, you need to open your eyes. Carl's a liar, he's a thief, he's a sociopath. And this is when she has a bit of a screeching fit. She says, shut up. If you carry on making me choose between them, well, you won't like the outcome. So she's planting her flag on her son's turf there, and not poor Kevin's.
Isn't it funny how outcome and income don't mean the opposites of each other?
Very funny. Wednesday comes round. Michael goes round to check on Ronnie. Ronnie's having a bit of a tough time this week, isn't he?
No one cares about Ronnie. Well, the Bailey boys do, but...
Yeah, it is. It does feel very much like, they're married, they're a union now, but...
I think
it's all about Debbie, but maybe that
granted. I think that because he's so big and strong, people think that he doesn't need looking after.
Yeah.
But he does.
And
those big arms can't heal a broken heart.
Well, it's like what we said about Debbie walking down the aisle singing and making it all about her, and we were saying it's Debbie's wedding, and also Ronnie happens to be there.
I don't think he minds, though. I don't think he minds.
No.
That. But yeah, I did like that Michael came round and, he said, look, I was supposed to pretend that I'm not here to see if you're all right, but are you all right?
Yeah. The big concern is, how's Debbie going to plead in court, isn't he? He's worried that she's making noises like she's going to try and protect Carl here, because she's been saying, it's me that was driving. So do I plead guilty and then potentially avoid getting a custodial sentence and obviously an investigation, or do I plead not guilty and then, who knows what the outcome's going to be? Could they end up throwing the book at her?
Whole story is winding me up like I can't tell you.
It is me a little bit. I saw some people saying that on Emmerdale, and we've not watched any of this since, so we can't confirm or deny, but everyone's kind of accepted it was John who started the crash, who caused the crash, and he's just become the scapegoat. Well, it's not the scapegoat, because he literally did.
Yeah.
I suppose...
So what is it? Look, Yorkshire Police and Lancashire Police are like, well, look, sorry, our people are not under your jurisdiction, Yorkshire, so you can make up whatever you like, but we're saying it was our person that started the crash and killed our person, so it just
they're
really
not
dumb.
They're not saying that
really
completely,
stupid.
are they? It's being kind of twisted to fit a story that they want to happen.
Yeah,
what they're saying is,
Michael, they don't need to twist it because they wrote the story. This is what annoys me when they do this. They wrote the story. They're not inheriting something from somebody else. It's not a concept that they were given by somebody else, or like somebody forced them to make the circumstances how they were. They're completely in control of the entire thing. They could have done anything they wanted, and they still ended up tying themselves in knots, creating a situation where what they've ended up with makes no sense.
I don't think
it wasn't Debbie that killed Billy. There were so many other things that happened, and there was no investigation. And I know you shouldn't care about it, but Coronation Street thinks it can pick and choose what we pay attention to. And what we brush under the carpet. No. And I don't like, I find it really annoying.
It's
a bit insulting.
It's annoying, but they're not saying that. What they're saying is that Debbie drove into the minibus, and that's what killed Billy. And had she not done that, he would have been alive. And the fact that she was drunk when she drove into it meant that had she not been drunk, she might not have driven into it. So yes, it was John and Becky who were the first to crash.
You haven't seen anyone do any investigation.
They're saying Billy would have been all right had drunk Debbie been able to brake in time.
Well, then what about everybody else that was on the coach? How come they're not dead? By that logic, she should be done for attempted murder for everybody on the coach. It doesn't make any sense. He died because he got left in there. He died because Theo left him in there. Theo tied him back up again.
No, I
know they don't know that.
Infuriating it makes sense to me.
They might have found that out if they'd done any investigation. They haven't even shown them investigating. They've speed run this whole thing just to make us... Just to make this story happen, and I'm sorry, but I'm not accepting what you're saying.
I'm begrudgingly accepting.
It was a massively complicated car crash that involved loads of people screwing up. Carla made Billy crash in the first place. Where's that?
I know. I would say.
Why is the hospital where she went after everybody went to the hospital? Why have they not said anything about the only reason they put in that she had bruises on her was that we would know that she knew that she wasn't actually in the driver's seat.
Yeah.
But the fact that they exist is just so damning of everything else, because it's like...
Well, Carl would have had bruises to show that he's in the driver's seat as well, wouldn't he?
Why doesn't stupid Kevin grab his t-shirt and pull his t-shirt open and go, look at this! This is indisputable evidence. Why doesn't he go to the police and say, I think this happened, go and investigate? All you have to do is bring him in and ask him to take his clothes off. When that police lady was interviewing Debbie that time, she was like, this story doesn't add up, but I'm going to take your word for it, and I'm not going to actually investigate with my eyes anything. They went and looked at the camera on a bloody red light and went that far, but it didn't go, look, let's see.
Maybe Kevin can...
It's insulting.
Maybe Kevin can get Abby to try and re-seduce Carl, and she can rip his shirt off.
It's not impossible for them to have made a story where this Debbie covering, and she's the one who did it. They could have made that story work, but they didn't bother doing it. And I do think it's lazy and insulting. And I don't often get this mad about stuff on Corrie, but I also think that sometimes people probably think that we are like bumlick Corrie and we only ever say nice things. That's definitely not true, because we're really critical. But I'm not gonna pretend that I don't have a massive issue with this. I don't remember coming out of the tram crash going, oh, this doesn't make any sense. Why didn't that and that happen?
No, you're right. They wanted there to be a Debbie miscarriage of justice. Will she not get sent down kind of story, and you're right. It doesn't completely add up. But I mean, I wonder.
They've opened a can of worms by doing this crossover stuff with Emmerdale, and now you've got two realities. It's like they when they exploded together, they created two alternative universes.
They're not.
One where the Emmerdale people accept one thing happened, and one where the Corrie people accept something else happened.
The Emmerdale people are accepting that John was the cause of the original crash. The Corrie people are accepting that Debbie, as part of the crash, was drunk and drove into Billy. I wonder, had she not been found inebriated, would none of this be happening, and she could just put it down to, literally, I couldn't stop in time. I was completely alert and awake, but it was a dark country road and I smashed into it. And then would there be no kind of case to answer there? It was the drunk driving bit, and I think it was smart of them to put that in at least, to give it a little bit more weight.
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
But you're right, it doesn't feel right to me.
It just feels like they haven't... there's no crash investigation. And honestly, with how obsessed they are with police stuff, you would think that they would have had like an incident room and like diagrams and pictures of like smashed up cars and roads, and like it would have been so interesting. Why have all these police characters and not use them?
Thing is, at the end of the day, we know that Debbie is not going to...
And the police
be the one who eventually gets the rap for this. Something's going to get found out.
If they investigated. I refuse to believe this story. I think it's so silly.
Well,
they've just stitched themselves up. so many places they've just embellished stuff, and the thing that annoys me about this is that it comes on the heels of another complicated police storyline where they've botched that as well and just gone, oh, forget it.
You're talking about Becky and Costello and
don't worry about it.
Grounds to a halt.
It's not a show about police. Well, stop making it a show about police, and then I won't have a problem when you fumble it so badly. Just stick to people having affairs, and then, oh no, my affair's got cancer. What should I do? If that's what you want to do, carry on.
I don't think as strongly as you do that they've fumbled it.
They did.
But I still will stick my flag in the ground of I don't like the fact that they've gone down this route, and I don't like it's going to be another, is she going to get sent to prison? This story doesn't need that. It was dramatic enough already, and especially with the Carl being Debbie's son revelation. I think just throwing in the potential trial, it's just like, I just don't like.
Well, there isn't a trial. There's not going to be a trial, is there?
Because... Well, no, not trial. What have you, plea hearing, sentencing.
It was so funny because when they had the trial, I confidently said to you, "Well, she's going to plead not guilty."
You did,
because otherwise, the blah 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 blah. And it's like, nope, you're wrong.
So Wednesday's episode, is that the one with the trial? No, it's not. That was Thursday, wasn't it? So Wednesday. Oh no, we've already started talking about this. I've just completely gone off on one. It's all right. Sorry. It's all right. It's a podcast. You air your views. You air them. You just be prepared for people to agree or disagree. But that's okay. That's what we do it for. Michael is there with Ronnie, and they have a manly hug. So that's okay then. Michael's just pleased to be featured in an episode for a change.
I don't care if people agree or disagree with me. What I'm interested in is their opinion apart from my opinion. Do you see the difference?
Yeah.
If you disagree with me because you already have your opinion, fine.
Right.
I'm just I'm not interested in hearing whether you agree with my opinion or not. That's really boring, don't you think?
Yeah.
I'm interested in what your opinion is. Can you see the difference?
Yeah, of course. There was a little scene with, I think, Kevin and Debbie later, and he's telling her, oh, look, I'm stopping having quite so much of a go at Carl, but I still hate him for what he's done to you, because he knows that Carl is taking Debbie for a ride, isn't he? And Debbie's like, I don't care. Just leave it alone. She's just desperately holding on to the fact that she knows why she's doing this for Carl, but she can't let anybody else find out. So it must be incredibly frustrating for her, because she loves Kevin, doesn't she? She probably desperately wants to tell him, look, Kev, the reason that I'm doing this is... I wonder what Kevin would say. He's going to find out eventually, isn't he? What's Kevin's reaction going to be? Is he going to say, oh, okay, that makes sense? Or is he going to be like, no, he's still a wrong 'un. He still slept with my wife. He's still screwing you out a load of money. He's still he's making you lie in court. Or I think he is, isn't he? Because he's not the most understanding of people.
No, he's not reasonable.
He's not. He's he's like you. Once you get an opinion in Kevin's head, he's gonna rant and bant about it until the cows come home.
I'm gonna let that slide.
Thanks. Ronnie and Debbie are in the flat room later, and he turns the telly off and says, "Look, Debs, you want to talk about this hearing tomorrow? Is there any truth in what Kevin's saying about Carl?" And Debbie's like, "Nope. Billy's dead because of me. How do you think I feel about this? My head's full of questions. I haven't got any answers to it." He says, "Just don't plead guilty, please." And she says, "Look, all I've got left upstairs in this old noggin of mine is my autonomy. It's me who's going to make this decision and nobody else." I'd love to know what's inside her head. Like, why is she doing it? Like, I know it's to protect her son, but she must know that if she gets sent down for this... That's it. She's not going to come out as herself. This is the end of her being on the street as the way she is now. She's likely to... Well, not likely. She's very possible that she's going to die in there.
Well, okay, so one thing that's not true is that it's not that she would get a different sentence from him. So it's not like she's protecting him because, I wasn't drunk, so if I... they would both have the same... They both were the same problem. It was that they were both drunk. Yeah. So that doesn't hold up. Is she kind of protecting him because he's younger and she thinks, my life's over, I haven't got long left anyway, so I might as well just go to prison because this show is just relentlessly miserable.
It's how horrible to think about, especially coming months after the whole Weatherfield businesswomen speech, like, I'm not over yet, I'm still Debbie, I'm still here, I've still got loads more that I can do. It's kind of almost like giving up.
It's also tarnishing her reputation. She's not going to win it next year, is she? Now, I mean, honestly,
Nope.
If you're the Weatherfield Women's Business Association, you're going to be like, now our name's dragged through the mud, there's going to be a newspaper headline going, recipient of Businesswoman of the Year, kills man in drunk crash on day of wedding.
That's true. But hasn't that happened before?
That poor woman who runs that business.
Did somebody get the Weatherfield Samaritan or Golden Heart Award or something that turned out that he was a wrong one? Did Jeff get it? I can't remember.
Well, they've stopped that now.
Yeah, they haven't done that anymore.
No more Women in Business Awards for Weatherfield.
Because Aki's moved away, what's the point? Is it just because she feels guilty about...
never being there for him?
never not being a proper mum to him, and B... she didn't let him speak to Elaine just before he died, and he's clearly mega cut up about this, and she's kind of saying, fair, I did that to you, now I'm going to do this, but it doesn't balance up for me.
We don't
Condemning yourself to the rest of your life potentially in prison that's a bit of an overreaction to, sorry, I didn't let you say goodbye to your mum.
We don't know what Elaine said to her. She might have said, I've done this for you. I raised this boy for you. This is your favour I've done my whole life, and I never said anything. You owe me this. You got to look after him.
Yeah.
And maybe that is partly...
It could be, but, I mean, that shows real... Does that show strength in character, or is it weakness to...
Who?
For Debbie. If she's saying, I will do this, I'm going to, as I say, condemn myself to a life in prison now...
I mean,
is it just weak that you're saying, well,
I feel from my
I'm not going to stand and do what I want for myself?
I feel as though she is not being... she's not using her head here, because he's not he's being enabled to be destructive. And if somebody stopped him at a certain point, he wouldn't have ended up in that car drunk.
Yeah.
Like, if somebody had stood up to him a bit more... If Debbie hadn't enabled him, blah, 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 blah. It's nobody else's fault but his. But this is fiction, This has all been made up. It doesn't really follow logic necessarily. But, you can't enable somebody's bad behaviour and then be surprised when somebody ends up dead.
Yeah.
And I don't think that this Billy's going to end up being Carl's only victim. I think that somebody else is going to get seriously hurt, if not killed.
Yeah. That's the question, isn't it? Like, at what point... is it all going to come tumbling down for Carl?
Where's her line of what she won't cover for? Because so far it's been, what other crimes are there? Like, he's killed somebody now.
I'm a little confused.
He's stolen money.
Does she know that he stole the money? Because I thought that earlier this week she was saying you wouldn't do that, would you? But then what with Abby last week visited her? I think she must know. She can't be that stupid. She's canny. You don't become Weatherfield businesswomen or whatever it is. Women in I don't know, Northwest. Is it that she finds out about what happened with Billy? But then how would she?
Theo's.
Or is he going to do something? Is he going to do something?
Theo's going to confess to Todd. Otherwise, this is going to drive me mad.
But
then again, even if Theo confessed that he let Billy die, would that really let Debbie off the hook if they thought that she caused the crash? Is it a lesser charge then? Is it like what does it mean then? How do they work out?
If the police think that she was drunk driving and she caused a fire.
Yeah, but she didn't though.
But she did, because she drove into it.
Yeah, but she didn't cause the fire. She didn't cause him to die from the fire. That was Theo.
Yeah, but if she, it's tricky.
It's all made up. It's all stupid.
I don't have a giant book of law like Alia, so I can't tell you for sure.
The thing that annoys me about this show is that you can't actually work it out from reality or logic or what would happen in real life. Going to be the juiciest story. I'm sure there was a point at which you could have done that with this show, and I really think it's a miserable shame that they're so fast to just throw reality out the window. But they expect everything. You expect you to follow everything else like it's true. But as soon as it's inconvenient to them, they're like, no, this is boring. I'm not gonna. I don't care about law. It's crap.
Yeah,
the inconsistency really annoys me, and I know that every story is like this. I know that Coronation Street's not the only one, but it just is infuriating at times because it just is.
Do you think that she is going to spend any time in prison?
No, she's going to get a suspended sentence.
Do you reckon?
Yeah.
But they were saying
I'm
on
so confident
on
about
Thursday's
this,
episode that this mean judge is kind of gunning for a custodial.
Well, then she'll get a custodial. It's made up. I don't care anymore. I'm at a stage now where I don't care about this because it's stupid and it's made up.
Gemma's mad. Okay, look.
She's not real. I don't care. She's fine.
Thursday's episode.
It's as long as Sue Devaney's all right, then I don't care what happens to Debbie at the moment. This is all just silly. What I don't like is the idea that they're kind of besmirching Debbie's character right at the end of this, of her being so bloody brilliant and having her be so stupid as to cover for a homicidal maniac and enable him to carry on hurting people because she's got this weird idea in her head that she has got to look after him after she has left him in Germany for decades and decades.
I just hope that it comes out soon because you're right. This is just besmirching her character.
She's letting pain and sadness and lies happen to victims. Like Summer, when Summer finds out that she lied, that's not going to make her feel better, is it? It's going to make her feel worse. Then she's going to have someone else to blame. The whole thing's going to open wounds once more.
Well, she's making things really difficult for Ronnie as well, isn't she?
And Kevin.
Yeah, she's...
And Tyrone. She's not letting Tyrone get justice. They decided not to bother with that. Was it Tyrone and Kevin going, look, let's just leave this. This storyline's boring. We're not going to bother with this. There's more exciting things happening with Carl now.
She's choosing to assuage her own guilt to make life much, much worse for all the people that love her.
Yeah. And she's chaos, is what
you're right.
Said.
That doesn't look good for her character. That's
like hurting more people. And to protect Carl, and she knows Carl has done wrong. Why are you protecting a psychopath?
Because she's his mum. As we find out on Thursday, which we're going to move swiftly on to now, she's in a Jim Jams at the beginning of the episode on the sofa, looking through her memory box. Remember the memory box? It's not the last thing that we'll see.
I'm sorry, I'm in a bad mood. I literally don't know why. I'm not.
I know it's making good content.
I'm not mad at anybody. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at anyone.
Mad at Carl.
But this is just getting. You know when you get to a limit of something, and I am disappointed that Corridor's come to like a bit of a. It feels like literally it was a car smashing into polystyrene. You know what I mean? Like for all the substance that came out of it.
Yeah, I can't say at this stage that there's really very much, if anything, that's come out of Corridor that's been like, oh, brilliant, I love this, where this is going now. Thank goodness that Corridor kicked this one up a notch and this is now happening.
No, I'm so sad to say. I'm sad to say it.
Right, Carl, the git, spends Thursday morning telling Debbie, you want to plead guilty, don't you? I think pleading guilty would be a brilliant idea. Oh, I wish I hadn't let you drive that car. I'm sorry. He does start to get... I think he is showing genuine emotion when he's tearing up a little bit because he knows. I don't think he's saying he's just not caring about Debbie at all. I think that he does feel a little bit of guilt, even though he is a bit of a psychopath. He's got to be feeling guilt that his sister, he is letting her take the rap for him. So he's like saying, I'm really, really sorry. But his sorry is, I'm sorry I let you drive. But really his sorry is, I'm sorry I'm lying for you.
Do you think there was any element of him during this conversation that was kind of like testing it out? Like, you know that I know that I was dry. You know, we're both pretending, aren't we? Like, I'm just making sure you're going along.
I think that... with
this story.
I think that she thinks... I think that he thinks that she thinks she did it. Right, okay. Because he asks her, doesn't he, in the hospital, what do you remember anything? And she's like, no. So he doesn't know that. But equally, he must know.
Do you think it would be more
that she's got bruises that prove?
No, he doesn't know that. He doesn't know that.
But if he's got bruises, so the only reason that he wouldn't know that is if he also doesn't have bruises.
Did he have a seatbelt on? He would have died probably if he hadn't.
Yeah, he had a seatbelt on. So he should have had bruises. So then he thinks that she must have bruises.
No, but I don't think has anyone said that to him? Because I don't think I'm dumb too. I don't think I would have realised that those bruises prove anything.
I don't know.
Do you think it would have been more interesting if they had both known that the truth? Like, would it be interesting to see Carl being like, "Why are you doing this for me?" Or do you think he would have not questioned it?
Because we know why she's doing this for him, but he hasn't got any idea. That would be interesting.
Is he so narcissistic and self-centered that he wouldn't question it? Because I think that's probably the case.
I wonder whether, this is what we'll see on the episode of her sentencing, whether they'll have a heart-to-heart like this. And we'll get to ask, yeah, maybe. He is
such a git.
He's really despicable.
I don't find this set up. I'm frustrated and I find it annoying and I hate Carl, but I think this is really good drama.
Yeah.
I don't know if I've made that clear, that I think that this is really a really interesting storyline. I do find it frustrating when they won't just let a story be, like the dementia's, like you said. Dementia's good enough. Like same thing. This kind of reminds me of Bernie going to prison when Paul.
Yeah, you said that before.
It feels an unnecessary embellishment when already everything is ticking along fine without it being done. But it is still good. It's still interesting. I just wish that the circumstances were a bit more sensible.
But we know, we know that Carla and Lisa will end up together and it'll all be happily ever after. And this is what we've said for the last 6 months or so, however long it's been. Yeah. We know that Debbie is not going to be spending her remaining days rotting in jail, is she? It's not going to happen, but it's still frustrating as... Maybe that's partly why it's frustrating. No, she won't.
Might do.
No, she won't. Maybe that's why it's frustrating, because we know that it's not going to... There's nothing to worry about for her. So does that lower the stakes?
She might go to prison for a few months. But really, if you've caused death by dangerous driving, you're not going to be out in 3 months, are you?
No.
How long would you be in for?
maybe they're going to not have... If they were sent her to prison, they wouldn't have to worry quite so much about the portrayal of her deterioration physically and mentally.
That's what I'm thinking.
And it's a bit of a...
She'll come out and she'll be different, or they're giving her a break, so Devaney gets a break before she has her sort of swan song.
Which you will need, I think. Yeah. And that's a bit like them with the Bernie thing, which they didn't end up going with, because we said that Bernie was going to go to prison and she was going to miss Paul, and then when she came out, Paul would be a different person, or he wouldn't be able to speak or what have you, but they didn't do that. She went to prison for a little bit and Paul was pretty much the same as he was before she went in when she came out. So what was the point of that? I don't know. I just don't want Debbie to go to prison. I really, really don't. Right.
Although I would be really excited. I think it would be quite fun to watch her in prison, charming all the horrible criminals in there.
You're right. I don't like the idea of Debbie going to prison. I don't like the idea of it being yet another wrongful imprisonment storyline following Deirdre, following Gail, following Hayley, following Sally, join the club love. But scenes of Debbie in prison being a little bit of a kingpin or something in there. It's tempting. It's tempting, it really is.
What is she being charged with?
Death by dangerous driving.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
Go on then.
You can have a maximum sentence of life imprisonment.
Oh. Makes sense.
It says you can...
Don't drink drive.
So they recently changed the law to make it more serious. And it used to be the average was prison for 5 years, and now it's gone up to 7 or more. So I wonder, she's not going to get a slap on the wrist, is she? So the only way she can get out of going to prison is if Carl admits that that he did it. And why would he do that? Not many reasons other than if this revelation, he finds out that she's his mum. But why would he suddenly become a decent human?
Or unless the police pull their finger out and do a bit of proper investigating.
Yeah, but
you're right. Unless something can happen between now. Although,
what annoys me is that even if it does come out, she's going to still be in trouble for perverting the course of justice, or she should be.
Oh,
but then Coronation Street doesn't care. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Go on. Sorry.
No, I was going to say something's going to happen. If she's not going to go to prison, something's going to happen pretty quick. But even if she gets sent to prison. If she gets sent to prison and then the truth comes out, I'm sure she'll just come out straight away, like Roy did.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway,
Through those gates.
Ronnie doesn't want her to plead guilty. Carl does. Ooh, who's going to get their wishes? So we go to the plea hearing, and it's the 2020 court, the little dinky one. They didn't go to Bolton for this, just for those scenes.
That's disrespectful to Billy.
The charges are all read against her. How does she plead? Looks at her family. Guilty to all of them. And you were like, damn it, I predicted that she was going to plead not guilty.
I was like, 100%, I would put £50 on it.
I said, I think she's going to say guilty. So they go out in the corridor later. This was the corridor that you had a little sneaky look around a couple of months ago, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So one side of the corridor is the court, and the other side of the corridor is the hospital set.
I think the reason why I said she's not going to plead guilty is because I said, if she's going to say not guilty, and then they're going to investigate and they're going to work out what actually happened.
But this, yeah.
Otherwise, how are they going to find out?
It's going to have to happen some other
I'm so mad.
Carl's telling Debbie, yeah, I'm obsessed, you've been so brave. Oh, that was really big of you. But Ronnie and Kevin are absolutely seething.
I'm devastated for Ronnie, honestly.
I really am as well.
This poor man is being put through the ringer.
Yeah. Yeah, it's...
How much can he take?
It's kind of cruel from Debbie.
It is.
But you know, you got your blood thicker than water thing, and if she thinks she's protecting her son, then the son trumps the husband.
I remember that.
Well, thank goodness you don't have one. Does the cat trump the husband?
You don't know. You've got no idea what I've been getting up to when you've been at work.
Hey, maybe you don't either, and this is going to be a Debbie situation, and it'll just turn out that somebody will pop up one of these days and say, "Hey, I'm your son." It's been written into the script of your life.
That you've got a secret child than I do. Because I can't be pregnant when you're at work, and then when you come home, I'm like, no.
I don't really know how that could happen, but. Hey, we've seen all sorts being Coronation Street fans all these years.
This show makes me question reality.
Anyway, go back to the bistro. Adam's there. He was there in his wig. One of his, I'm not a barrister, but I'll wear one of these anyway, wigs during the case.
They've got a basket of them by the door.
Yeah,
help yourself.
Yeah, maybe it is. Do you want to feel important?
Yeah, you go. Wear this. It's cool.
Yeah. And you can have a gavel if you like.
Yeah,
Judge.
everyone gets a gavel. Everyone gets one. Bang, bang, bang. Here you go. Debbie, take this, please. This is your gavel.
So they go in there and they're saying, Adam's saying, they're really after a custodial sentence here. Maybe we can get some kind of medical thing that says you're too ill to go to prison. And they're all very stressed. And Debbie's saying, look, just do what you can. Maybe this is what will happen. But I'm sure people with dementia do get sent to prison in real life.
I hate to say this, and it maybe makes me sound bad, but I don't like the idea that you can do something like this and then go, even though I'm fine now, I don't want to go to prison because I'm not going
to be fine.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah.
I think you should be discharged if it's clear that you don't know what's going on.
It's like, some people will plead insanity, and this is deferred insanity, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, but that's like, that is not a good plan.
Carl's with Debbie at home later saying, again, yeah, you've done the right thing, you've avoided a trial, good on you, girl. And she's still worried that she's going to get sent down. How am I going to cope there? And surely she must have thought about that before she said it. Did she just take a gamble? She says, do you think she planned to say guilty all along, or do you think there was a point at which she was trying to decide? Because it did look like she was impulsive, and maybe she hasn't thought it through. The way that she's been acting since the crash makes me think that she was more erring on the side of guilty, and I'm sure that Kevin and Ronnie, tilt the balance a little bit at one point, but she was just that looking at Carl and that massive secret that she's been harbouring that's made her so guilty. And let's go back to her original desire. If
it does come out that it was Carl that was driving, is it possible that Adam could get her the charges dropped for her perverting the cause of justice, or whatever it's called?
Oh, yeah.
Because of her dementia.
Yes, maybe. Because they did say
that wouldn't
that
be
she'd
justice,
had...
would it? That would be lying.
But they did say that she had a stroke, didn't they?
No, they didn't.
I thought they did.
She had concussion. You made that up.
Oh, okay. Maybe, though. We'll see. We've speculated enough about this. Basically, she's telling Carl, don't go back to Germany. And he's like, fine. I think the German loan sharks have definitely lost all track of me by this point. Like, what is going on there? Honestly, that's... What do we call it when we do the Bobbins Award? The Build Up to Now Award. That's going to be on there somewhere. I've got a few other contenders as well, to be fair.
I think this is wrong against German gangsters, because I think if anyone is going to be ruthlessly efficient, it's going to be the Germans.
Yeah, if you owe them money, they come and break your legs within a week. They're hanging around. They'll come around your house
months. And they'll take all the glass bottles out of your recycling bin and take them back to Germany and get loads of money for that.
Yeah, they could, couldn't they?
Do you think anyone's ever thought of doing that? You could actually get a fair bit.
The stealing people's bottles, getting your pfennig.
Bringing them back from England.
Yeah. Anyway, look.
You don't know what I'm talking about.
I do. What's it? I'm just trying to think what it's called.
Fans.
That's right, yeah. Right. Final scene. Hoorah. This was sport for Gemma. As soon as she's sitting there on the box. Because you told me.
On the box.
You told me.
Yes, I did.
I know something that's going to happen today.
Yeah.
And I thought, oh, surely it must be this then.
Did you?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I can't.
Because I knew it was going to be a Big Debbie episode, but I couldn't say, for absolute sure, but I thought. And then as soon as she sat there with the box, I was like, yep, at last it's going to happen now. And she's looking through her little photos, and then she finds, doesn't find, she little peels back a little secret compartment on the side of her memory box. And there's a baby tag inside, and I don't know that's what they're called, but that's what I'm going to call it, from when Carl's was born, the things that get put on the baby's arms, and it said Carl Webster, as I'm sure they all called him at the time, date of birth, turns it over, and it says Mutter Deborah Webster. She's his mum.
I like the way it was kind of like not written right, because they're like, what is this stupid name, this stupid English name?
What?
Well, they kind of like didn't, like if I was writing a German name, I might not write it correctly, because I don't know how it's spelled.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Well, they got this absolutely right.
They did. Forget it.
No, that's okay. Anyway, that's the big reveal, big surprise. And I have at least seen some people on our Facebook group saying, no, I didn't know that was going to happen. Out in yourselves as non-podcast listeners now, I'm going to say. You're not even listening now, so why am I talking to you? But I'm glad that there were some people out there who were not spoiled by this, by the speculation spoiled. And it was a bit of a big shock, and I think it probably still counts as a Bayek contender for the year, because it's not something that Corrie had put out there into the ether, at least not in as many words. Also, Thursday's episode, and I've kind of bundled the Debbie stuff in one bit, but meanwhile you've also got with Summer, she's pretty mad at Debbie and saying she needs to pay for what she's done, because it's all very, very difficult for her to cope with her third dad dying. She's brought around this lovely photo of Smiley Billy for the funeral, which Todd pops on the mantelpiece, and that's gonna get smashed at some point, surely.
I'm surprised anyone's got a picture left of Billy.
They're all littered around the outside the flat, aren't they? Or
stowed in his coffin.
Yeah, well, these days you digitally you can reproduce them. It's amazing. So it's there. I don't know. I really enjoyed when the shot of when they're both looking at the photo saying, oh, Billy, so sad that he's dead. He's a great bloke, isn't he? And Theo's there in the background just absolutely fuming that, well, it's fuming that they're still going on about how wonderful this guy is. It's like he's getting in between them. He's the third wheel from beyond the grave. He's only
more powerful in death.
But he's also there saying, I don't want to be reminded about what I did, because I do genuinely feel that he is absolutely awash with guilt about this, because we know that he is a very guilt-laden chap, and he doesn't need reminding about this, because even later on when Todd's writing the eulogy, Theo doesn't want to hear it, does he? No. He's reading it, and it's eating him up inside, knowing that I killed this supposedly great bloke that Todd clearly hero worships. He should be hero worshipping me. So he says to Todd, I don't think you should be doing this now. It's obviously really difficult for yourself. You're probably just doing it because you're feeling guilty about, kind of being responsible for Billy being on that coach. But don't worry, I don't think it's your fault. But just everyone else does, Todd. And Todd says, I need to go and have a drive. Again, good on you, Todd. I don't know whether he's still planning an escape, because he had his escape bag, didn't he? He's still on the fence. He knows he's being manipulated, but he doesn't quite have the strength, because, he's just been knocked for six by this, to actually go.
It doesn't feel like he's under Theo's spell anymore.
No, not really.
But I don't know why he's still there.
Yeah. But, we've talked and we've had emails about why people find it difficult to leave.
Oh, we know.
But I'm glad for him. I was really proud of him when he got up and said, I'm going out for a drive on my own.
Everybody's circumstances are different.
Then we have that lovely little scene, which just gave me flashbacks to Phelan when he lost it in the van that one time when Vinny nicked his money. But Todd's come back from his drive and he's sitting next to the corner shop and listen to the radio. I hear that they're the new podcasts.
Yeah, I don't know.
Radio killed the podcast star.
Why would you want to listen to something you can't pick the topic
of? It's not been the same since Jiggle Jeff left, though, is it? It's that the airwaves have not been anywhere near as fun. But anyway, they're talking about the news of the poor dead vicar that was killed in the Leeds the Leeds road crash, and Todd's a bit sad, isn't he? He just I've written in the notes he has a bit of a shouting fit, but he's slamming his hands on the wheel and he goes doesn't he? Because this is just eating him up inside and he can't escape it, and this is the guilt, isn't it? He's upset because he's upset that Billy's dead, but I think that Theo's poison that he's dripping into his ear about this is kind of your fault is starting to take root.
Okay.
I'm kind of mixing my metaphors there, but I thought that was a really, really well performed scene by Welsh Pierce. Good job. Friday, the stories kind of properly merged together. We learn
Welsh Pierce. Would you say
Todd?
I think it's about Welsh Pierce.
Oh, I was maybe thinking Welsh Todd. Right. Welsh Pierce, Gareth Pierce.
I know, but he's not Welsh Pierce because that's him.
I know. Theo is off visiting his mum on Friday, apparently, who's broken her hip or something like that. So,
what a shame.
That gets him out of the picture for a little while anyway. Todd and Summer are walking down Victoria Street where they bump into Sean and Toyah, and we were watching this saying, why are Sean and Toyah having a scene together? Why are they friends? I mean, I know they've known each other for the best part of 25 years, but that's probably not a first, but I could probably count on one hand how many times that they've had scenes like that together. But hey-ho, maybe they just both really enjoy the pop-up shop. So, this is when Toyah gave Summer her condolence card, wasn't it? Because she'd just been hanging on to this card inside her.
She's I want maximum credit for this. I'm going to give it to him in person.
It's always be prepared. You never know when you're going to come across a grieving, bereaved soul. So I'm going to have her. She's probably got a whole
Maybe she was walking around the corner to post it. You don't know.
It's but why now? Billy's been dead for a week and a half by this point.
Off the internet, and it's only just turned up.
I don't get it. Maybe she's got a whole pocket full of. I would if I lived there. Have a whole pocket full of condolences cards. You're just dishing them out willy nilly, isn't it? You get a condolence card. You get a condolence card. Sorry for your loss.
I'm not sure he's going to die, but someone will.
Yeah, you probably do, don't you? Just have a whole pre-written ones where you can. Yeah. Usually it'd be so you can be the first to say, I'm going to be the first. Just saying, I'm really sorry for your loss.
Do you get credit for being the first
maybe
one?
in some circles, but Toyah, I don't know what's kept her so long. So she gives her this card, and then we see the emergency. No, what was it? The big black private ambulance. Thank you. Turning up at Shuttleworth
for money
with dead Billy inside, and George comes out, and it's all too much for Summer, and she has a bit of a cry. Even Toyah has a bit of a cry as well, doesn't she? When she goes into the cafe later. Was she that close to Billy? No, but
I'd cry.
She's sensitive, unlike us.
I'd cry.
Would you?
If I saw a private ambulance turn up with the body of someone, I was very upset when our neighbour died, and they saw him carry him out.
Oh yeah, I suppose so. It's just me.
I didn't cry there actually.
I was saying that Toyah's looking at Todd and Summer going, I think that they might need some counselling. My little counselling sensor's twitching here. I could be onto something, But who knows? It's just odd that she was in that story, but maybe I'm reading it more into it than there actually is. Debbie. Right. She's getting all her affairs in order today for when she's sentenced. She says to Ronnie, right, cancel the honeymoon. Look after Carl when I'm in prison. She's definitely preparing for the worst at this point, isn't she? And Ronnie's just kind of begrudgingly accepting, and then we get a few more scenes of him finding it very difficult to cope with later on, because Asher and Mary are talking about the crash later. Asher's deciding, Kel's surprised that she is going to retrain, or she's going to go back to paramedicing school in September or something. So she's just going to be slacking it at the corner shop until then.
She says she's going to do something.
Oh, did she?
To help people be a patient transport.
Oh, okay. So she's going to serve our community. Thank you for that. Ronnie starts getting a bit stressed, doesn't he, when he hears them talking about it, and Ed steers him pubwards.
Why hasn't Asher thought of the possibility that maybe the trauma of being a paramedic might be too much, but there are other ways of helping people, or also working in the medical profession where you don't necessarily have to deal with life or death situations.
No,
but there are loads of nursing jobs where you don't have trauma thrown at you. I know that it's a really hard job, and there are definitely more traumatic places to work than others, aren't there? There are definitely places you could work where you're not going to be have death thrown at you every day.
I think that she knows deep down that she has got the makings of a really good paramedic, and I think that her mate, whatever her name is,
Sienna,
thank you, has been telling her that. I think she's been getting good grades on her courses and everything,
and
she's just a SWAT. She is a SWAT. Okay, she's got glasses. She's but she's had a wobble. And she's been getting a bit overwhelmed. The whole thing with Naomi was difficult for her. But I think she knows that this is right for her. And I think that the crash cemented, I probably should do this. It's a calling, Gemma. It's a vocation.
It's a fictional calling.
And Ash is a do-gooder, isn't she? She's a lovely girl.
I'm just saying, like, if you find a certain element of a profession traumatic, you could investigate to see if the other ones might not be as bad.
Or see it as a challenge and rise to it.
I know, but I don't want a paramedic having a panic attack when I'm having one. It's like, stop it, I'm the one
I suppose that is true, actually. That is going to affect your bedside manner.
Are you having a bad day, are you? Are you having a bad day because my leg's not here anymore? Sorry if that upsets you.
And look, okay, so he goes to the bistro, doesn't he, with Ed, and they just have more hugs. I was glad to see that, because Ed tells him to basically pull himself together, doesn't he? Which he does. And it was lovely having that scene of him and Debbie walking down the street at the end of the episode, like somewhat of a united front after the division that we've seen since the wedding.
But then
Summer comes along, because she's already labelled Debbie a stupid bitch, being a drunk driver. And then they have a bit of a confrontation in the street later, and she tears a strip off of Debbie, and Debbie's, bless her, saying, I'm really, really sorry. She didn't even do it, and she knows it. And Summer says,
I know, I couldn't keep it in my head.
Especially after that slap.
So it slaps me, I'm slapping them back and telling them it was Carl.
Although, I'm going to say, that wasn't the best soap slap I'd ever seen. That was no Sally and Natalie. That was very high-handed, wasn't it? What?
It was like a swipe.
It didn't look like any contact was made whatsoever.
I'd like to see you do a fake slap. I would not get my head...
There we go.
I would not get my hand anywhere near Sue Devaney, would you?
Yeah, that's true. Especially because of how wee she is.
Yes, you could kill her.
Although, Bibby is also a little on the petite side, isn't she?
Well, I'm not going to criticise because I've never had to do it. Yeah. I always slap people for real.
Maybe Sue Devaney was like, don't you touch me.
This makeup, if it gets disturbed, you mess my hair up.
Can you imagine it being in the script where so-and-so slaps Rita?
What would you do?
No.
I quit.
Yeah.
What would you do? That's hilarious.
And then Barbara Knox is there going, come on then.
Come on then, what are you going to do?
Script says it, love. Come on.
Daniel pushes Ken down the stairs. I can't. Not
I'll
really.
do it off screen.
Not really.
Yeah, no, that was not the best slap.
All right.
Summer walks off in tears, and Debbie tells Ronnie that Summer's right. I deserve it.
But she knows she
doesn't.
That's so confusing.
As we said earlier, I think she's just feeling mega guilt about not being the best of mums to Carl all these years, and lying to him and everybody all this time. So she's not guilty of the death, although...
Yes.
I know. She might even be thinking, could I have done more to have stopped Carl driving? Yeah, because she calls his bluff, doesn't she? She gets in the car with him. She might be thinking, if I didn't get in the car with him to call his bluff, he might have just been driving her along. We wouldn't have been having that argument. Yeah. If you're feeling guilty about something, you can very easily concoct reasons about why it is your fault, even if they're not the reasons that you're telling people, because a more convenient one comes along.
It's interesting because she's taking all of this abuse and commentary about the crime that she didn't commit, but her beloved son did.
Yeah.
But she's not trying to minimise it. But in her mind, she must be... Do you think a bit of her might be going, oh, it wasn't, it was an accident. He didn't mean to do it. It's funny. It's funny that she's just taking all the abuse, but she must be thinking to herself, no, you're being unfair because it was an accident. But she's not defending it herself, but she must want to defend Carl.
Yeah.
By minimising it, even though obviously
I wonder
very naughty.
I wonder whether it's going to come out at Billy's funeral, because if that's not next week, it'll be the week after. So and especially if we're saying, well, something needs to happen to stop Debbie getting sent down. Carl needs to find out something. Somebody needs to confess. I mean, if Debbie is still not in prison when Billy's funeral goes along, it's like, is she going to want to go along? Is she going to go on to say sorry? Is Summer going to have a go at her? I don't know. Maybe that's the time when the truth is revealed. But that flipping Teflon Carl, I just get the feeling that he's going to keep on deflecting this just for a little while longer. I don't know. It
was really obnoxious seeing him sitting with Debbie on the sofa, like 3 times the size of her. Like, she's like a little ventriloquist dummy on his knee, parroting everything that he wants her to say.
Yeah.
And she innocently looking at him, going, please don't go to Germany. And he's like, no, don't worry about it, I won't go. What a dick.
I mean, is he going to?
Yeah, I think he will.
Once she's locked up,
I don't see
what's
why
keeping
he
him here?
That's what makes me think something else has got to happen, because Carl's trajectory seems very clear. He's got nothing to stay in Weatherfield for once Debbie goes to prison. He's actually probably hoping that she'll get a custodial sentence, because then she'll be out of his hair and he can just go to Germany guilt-free, leaving everybody behind him. She's the only one that likes him. Everyone hates him.
Yeah.
Maybe he's thinking he can convince her to give him some money.
Yeah. I'm still wondering whether anything's going to happen with Ben, because he took against Carl very quickly and has been very much neutral on him since, or not had any cause to suspect him. But
I don't know why he would be involved in this.
No, but I'm just thinking, was there a reason why on his second day in Weatherfield he was involved in that storyline?
To endear him to us.
Yeah, I guess so. Right, that's enough of that stuff anyway.
This makes me tired.
Talking of the Driscolls, Gemma.
Finally got them back.
Yeah, hooray. We saw them all this week. Apart from Ollie. No Ollie, but then some might say you wouldn't notice if he was there anyway.
He trained in a Michelin-starred restaurant.
He did, I know, I heard that, yeah.
And they did not use fake truffle oil in that restaurant. I can tell you that for a start.
Gemma, Megas is preggers. She's up the duff. How did this happen then? Come on, let's go through this story. Monday.
Well, if you need me to teach you that, then we're going to have to do that off air. On Monday, Will tells Ben that he's been given detention by Daniel for talking, and it wasn't even him, it was all the other kids as well, and he's just been picked on. And I just love how Daniel is continuously petty against teenage boys, and he really shouldn't be a teacher. I know that Megan's a menace, but Daniel he's got what's the word? Vendettas against children constantly, and nobody sees this as a problem.
Only if they've got vendettas against him.
But
Come on, Max tried to poison him. But this is... Will's glowering at him all the time.
Most teachers go through their careers without having, children
as their arch nemesis.
Yeah! What are you doing with your life that a child is your enemy? And they know it. That's so weird. He's so terrible. Anyway,
Daniel's not. I don't think he's purposefully doing it. He says to Will, "What is your problem? Leave me alone."
Antagonising him. I'm sorry, but he does. He keeps antagonising. He should be the big. Literally,
I don't think he is.
He should be more mature. He's the more mature person. He needs to lead by example.
He's doing a lot that is unintentionally antagonising
Will and going, "Leave me alone. Stop looking at me." Stop looking at Will. He's a child. It shouldn't bother you that he's immature. That's his job.
I don't know. I think he's holding back quite well.
I think he's being unreasonable.
No, I don't. But I do.
And he is picking on him. You know that he gave him detention.
Do you reckon?
Oh, yes. He's such a little petty bitch. Daniel Osborne, wannabe poet and Cambridge reject. Of course he is. Anyway.
I thought he was Oxford.
Well, Cambridge wouldn't have him.
Both the
Cambridge
same,
Cambridge is too cool for him. Right, Daniel and Meghan are getting all the birthday stuff ready for Bertie's birthday party, and he eventually invites her, and she's like, "Oh, I've been trying to get invited this whole time."
Why Bertie was having his birthday party at Ken's house rather than their own flat can only be explained by the fact that they are not using their flat at the moment. Yet number one is on rotation.
Is not being used at the moment.
Oh, somebody did a really good job on Reddit. We saw was it a week or so ago? They'd categorised all the places, all the locations that had been featured in Corrie over the course of the last 12 months, like exactly how many appearances each room or house or whatever got, and which ones didn't get any showings. And it was very, very interesting, particularly what was on that didn't show up at all.
I don't know, because I don't go on that subreddit.
But anyway, it was interesting. Well done, whoever did that. Go and find it.
It's very interesting.
It's a nice little infographic.
But I don't go on there because I don't want spoilers. Daniel and Meghan leave the house later, and he invites her for wine and homemade chicken nuggets, which sounds hideous. Why would you make your own chicken nuggets?
I know.
It can only be worse, can't they? They can't be better.
Oh, I think you do a good job.
But it wouldn't be a chicken nugget. It would be like a breaded chicken fillet.
Goujon.
Yeah. How are you making these nuggets? Are you mashing up bits of cartilage? I don't think so.
Maybe Daniel's just so used to talking down to people. He's like, I would call them a bit of breaded chicken fillet, but you probably wouldn't understand.
You don't know what a goujon is, do you, Megan? You are just a PE teacher.
Yeah.
So she's like, he says it's Jamie Oliver. A Jamie Oliver recipe.
Did he?
Why would you
bet
bother?
Oliver calls them nuggets.
Oh, God, why bother? Right, so she goes, okay, I'm going to go and get some wine. Goes to the corner shop and gets a phone call from an unknown number that she's being harassed by. She says, don't call me again. Leave me alone. This is interesting.
We don't find anything more
about this. And I think everyone, including me, is assuming that it is some kind of ex-victim or parent who's like, I'm not going to let this rest. I'm going to harass you. Maybe I couldn't go through proper channels, or maybe you were investigated and they chose not to pursue it.
Yeah, what you did. This isn't the first time that Meghan's done this.
Given the other developments, I wonder if she also has another boyfriend somewhere else, and this is him, and he might be the father of the child.
Well, that's quite an interesting theory. I like that. I haven't considered.
Why? Could be, couldn't it? Could be. Because, I mean, she's
seriously
got no compunction about seriously dating Daniel. I don't believe for a minute when she tells Will that she's got no feelings for him and it's all just a ruse. She acts like she's Mata Hari or something, like, I've got to do it, I've got to go undercover. Who do you think you are, James Bond? You don't need to sleep with somebody to hide the fact you're having an affair with him. It's weird.
I've just been wondering for a lot of the week, how much does she actually care for Will?
She's like a weird little pervert.
He's been going up to her sometimes and she's just like, leave me alone. You're so mature, I haven't got time for this now. Like, I think she's starting to realise that going out with somebody closer to your own age is actually a bit more normal and preferable.
No, I know what you're saying, but that makes it feel like she's only... I mean, she's a paedophile. She's only a paedophile because she doesn't know any better. She obviously knows. Like, she's had the opportunity...
Okay, maybe we'll put it another way. Maybe she's realising that going out with Daniel because he's a bit of a nicer bloke, and I know the guy's not perfect, than Will.
No, he's horrible. Why'd you pick Daniel?
I like Daniel.
I would rather pick Death.
Look, he was good enough for our Daisy, Gemma.
All right. Well, she had her own troubles.
Because, as a lady, who would you...
No, I'm not going to... No, because Will is a child.
Okay. But Will's just so obnoxious, isn't he? He's just like, what is there about him?
What you're saying also makes it me think that you think that Will is her first a relationship with an underage child.
He could be,
but
don't know
what you would call a grooming experience. I think that she's had many victims.
It's interesting as well saying that, because that's the suspicion around Trisha as well, isn't it?
Trisha's
with who was it, Sally, that was finding her online and saying that people saying you're disgusting. Maybe they're part of the same.
Maybe Trisha's Megan's mum.
Maybe she is.
I don't know what. I think that would be weird and a bit problematic.
No, that doesn't make sense whatsoever, but it makes you think.
On Wednesday.
Yeah, I seriously... Not that I want to get inside the head of somebody like Meghan, but what on earth about this kid makes you think that it's worth all this effort? He's just...
I don't want... I mean,
really,
I'm happy for it to be mysterious to me. The
psychology
of it is fascinating.
I mean, we did see the briefest of smiles one episode this week, didn't we? When she reminds him that she does actually love him. Apparently,
there was another. I was looking through Twitter, and there was a female teacher in America who'd done the same thing. It's just like, what are you mucky cow? What is wrong with you?
I feel sorry for her, really.
I feel sorry for her. I don't. I think she's a pig.
No, I feel sorry for her that she thinks that it's all right.
No. No. Let's not start down that road.
No.
On when I don't feel sorry for her at all. I hope that she gets her fingernails plucked out by a evil stalk. On Wednesday, Meghan's got a mystery parcel. She puts it in her bag, and Ken's like, "Coming to the party. I hope it's not just me." Kirk says he's got a proper banging present.
Oh yeah, get it in the script.
I mean,
you can't affect our judgment on the short.
It's so creepy to think that Bertie's 7, which means that in another 7 years, Meghan probably fancy him.
Yeah, he's halfway there, isn't he?
Pervert.
Wasn't it Doran who also got a drum kit for his birthday? Doran was definitely banging some drums last year.
It's the hilarious present.
It's all the rage in Weatherfield.
Do you think Kurt just buys everyone drums?
Yeah, maybe.
So Will is glowering on about it.
He's trying to form his band, isn't he? So he can go back on tour again with his Arseholes song.
He's mad. Will is mad that she's been staying over with Daniel, and she's like, "Look, I've stayed overnight because I had a headache or so, whatever." I can't even remember if this is when she said that, but she says that at some point. And she says, "Look, give me some space. I need some space." So she goes to this party, and if you're feeling rough, then a birthday party with drum kits, it's bad.
I couldn't think of anything worse.
Alia's there because Adam is related to Bertie,
but he didn't come along to the party
because he was busy, and everyone's too embarrassed to tell Alia that she's not actually welcome.
No, I think Alia's like, I never get invited to parties.
Why don't I get invited to parties?
Yeah, why? Why don't I?
So Bertie's got a drum kit, and he's and then Alia's like, "Oh, can you get the candles, Bertie, out of the bag?" And Bertie just dives into Meghan's bag and brings out the pregnancy kit. And Alia like brandishes it all over the place, going, "Oh my God, what's this? It's
Classic
not mine."
soap move, Meghan, putting the pregnancy kit on the top of your bag. You've been trained well in soap school.
Didn't she buy it in a paper bag as well? I'm sure she did.
Yeah, she did. That's what we saw earlier. She
had
that mystery parcel.
Bertie took it out of the bag, or she did. What is wrong with you, love? So
almost like she wanted to get found out.
But Meghan's like, "Oh, it's not mine. It's for
Daniel's
a girl
reaction
at school."
was great there. He's like, "What the heck?"
He looks totally shocked, and then she's like, "Well, it's nice to know what you would think if it was my baby."
Well, it kind of gets it gets explained later that he did have his own "Who's the Daddy" story last year. 12 months ago it was, wasn't it?
Well, it's another one.
And he doesn't realise that this is one. He thinks, clearly I'm the daddy, because why would she need anybody else when she's got a bit of prime meat here in the form of Daniel Osborne? But yeah, he doesn't like... I don't think he wants to have a baby with Meghan yet. But obviously it would remind him of the troubles last year.
Well, you would be shocked. I'm sorry, you can't judge somebody for being shocked if your girlfriend of like 2 months has a pregnancy test.
Not even that, is it? 2 weeks more like.
And didn't say anything.
Yeah.
Would never not blame any man for not having the correct facial expression when it gets revealed at your son's 7th birthday party.
Yeah.
For God's sake. She's got no... I don't understand why she's mad at him. Of course, she was probably shocked.
Well, no, she's just mad at herself. She's not...
Well, she is mad because she then... Alia chases her out.
But she doesn't want... She doesn't like him enough.
I don't...
If Daniel is just a cover story, she doesn't want him to want her baby.
She's a big fibber.
I know.
I think she does like him, and I think she's starting to regret...
No, I do. I think she is. That's what... Yeah, no, I agree. So maybe this was the biggest clue of them all, that she is actually properly falling for Daniel and going off Will. The fact that she was so affected by Daniel's reaction.
So Alia chases her down Victoria Street and says, look, and Megan says, this is for a girl at school. I'm just upset because Daniel looked really put out. And Alia says, look, come back to the pub. And Alia tells Tracy about what happened. And Megan's like, look, think about this girl, Megan. I reckon it is her kit. She's really dodgy. I don't trust her.
Yeah, Tracy's on the case. I hope Tracy brings Megan down. That'd be a good little cat fight in the street.
Yeah, proper scratch her eyes out.
Yeah, give her Cassie a breather.
Mind you, if anyone's going to scratch her up, it's got to be Maggie or Ben.
Not Ben.
Well, she's done more damage to Will than she has Daniel.
If
anyone's going to get vengeance on Megan, it should be Will's family.
But maybe it would.
I can see Maggie starting her own one of those pedo hunter YouTube accounts.
Maggie is
just kicks the crap out of Megan.
Maggie would do anything to defend her family, so maybe you're right there.
Yeah, she would.
Ben would be absolutely terrifying, but I don't think he would. He's not going to raise his fists to Megan. But I don't think he would have any. He would just cart her right after the police.
Maggie is gonna murder Megan.
Do you reckon?
Yeah, that's my prediction.
Well, there's got to be a reason why we know that she's
not adverse to pushing people down the stairs.
Yeah.
Mind you, Daniel pushes people down the stairs. Maybe they could push each other.
They could actually.
They could wrestle at the top of the stairs and see who wins. Who's the best at pushing?
They don't have this sort of scene very much anymore in Coronation Street, but yeah, a little scene where Maggie and Daniel realise they do actually have something in common.
But Daniel regrets pushing Ken down the stairs. I don't think that Maggie regrets pushing.
No,
Alan
but she
down
didn't
the
even
stairs.
push him, did she? She just let him fall. But no, I do wonder actually, will that be brought up? And Maggie, just to kind of rattle Maggie, just to partly to remind the viewers, because they're clearly in no rush to have this storyline come out. And I think at some point we're going to have to be reminded of it, and maybe it'll be by Daniel talking about pushing Ken down the stairs. And she'll say, I just need to go out the back to have a little flashback. I'm just having a moment.
How about the picture that Maggie saw in the sideboard was actually the picture that Daniel took of him pushing Ken down the stairs? and she shocked her because it reminded her.
Yeah, maybe. Maybe it's that big publicity photo of all the potential whodunit suspects with Phelan and Tracy and Peter. And it's just there was a whodunit from Hannah. I
hope they don't do that for me. Yeah, because there is still that link between Maggie and the Barlows, but there's also now this link between Megan, Daniel, and Will. Will that come to anything? Will these stories all end up coming together at some point with Maggie's secret and Daniel and Will? And
I really want them to tell us soon what Maggie saw in the cupboard. I can't contain...
That sounds like a really good Agatha Christie.
What Maggie saw in the cupboard.
Right, well, we don't know yet.
Now a hit ITV drama.
Starring
Polly McGlynn.
No, starring
Maureen Lipman as Maggie.
No, starring Sarah
Lancashire
as Maggie. Right, so okay.
I bet she can do a cracking Irish accent.
I bet she can do anything she puts her mind to. Right, so Daniel apologises to Megan in the pub about his reaction to the pregnancy test and explains about this whole big storyline that he had with Daisy, and it brought back painful memories, and she forgives him. I mean, honestly, also, I would say I got traumatised by the fact that my first wife died when she had Bertie because she got pregnant and then she wouldn't take any...
Well, yeah, I did wonder actually. That was my first thought. Despite the fact that this happened a year ago, Daniel's
more traumatic
Sinead drama.
Far in your head, I wouldn't blame you for linking pregnancy with death if you're Daniel.
Yeah.
But anyway, now he uses the other excuse. She forgives him, and then Will's glowering. It's just as she gives him a big kiss. I know this character is so hated.
It seems like people online have finally started to creep out the woodwork in the last week or two and say, is it just me or is Will a massive arse?
And we all know, and we all can acknowledge that he is...
He's a victim.
And he is being He is being manipulated.
He's being abused, etc., etc., etc. But asses can still be victimised and abused.
He's been turned into a monster.
I just get the impression he's always been like that. But he's a jock, isn't he? I've naturally got adverse to that type of person.
Give credit to Lucas Hodgson because he is doing a cracking job of being a slimy, horrible, nasty guy, and he must be. I don't know. I hope he's really proud of how badly this character is hated.
Like I said a few weeks ago,
that's the intention. That's the intention. You're supposed to hate him. I can't really apologise for hating a character that we're clearly not supposed to like.
But it's weird. Like, you wouldn't normally want to hate this person in this kind of
16-year-old victim.
Yeah. So why are we supposed to hate him? Is it because he's an adversary to Daniel, who we're supposed to like?
Actually, why isn't he being portrayed in a different way? Why is it because they wanted? I mean, if he was a sweet kid, if he was like a Sam, then when he attacked Daniel and left him for dead in the Guinness, it'd be a bit shocking, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Is he going to do something else? I mean, is there more violence in Will's future?
And will he be redeemed once this story is all over? Because I can't be doing with this version of Will forever. Ship him off to Athletic somewhere.
Athletic Borstal.
Like, yeah, seriously.
I mean, it would be really nice.
I can't think, honestly,
that if he got redeemed.
I can't think of a more obnoxious teen. Like, even the likes of Corey had a bit more of charm to them than Will does. And he kicked Seb to death.
He's just so horrible, isn't he? He's just so miserable.
Yeah.
But he's doing a great job of it. Because I feel like he's a real person.
Yeah.
And I'm making excuses for him.
Well, they were talking about moody teenagers today, weren't they? The characters, I can't remember who it was. It was Maggie or Eva or something.
I will say, when he's given these glowering looks, you can see the pain in his eyes. Like, he looks in pain. Like, he's anguished.
To be fair as well,
kid. I feel really bad for him.
In that Guinness scene, when he smiled, it's like, I could just see this tiny little glimmer of there could be a nice kid in there.
Yeah, it'd be lovely to see him smile.
Yeah.
When Megan dies, he's going to be damaged. This is the sad thing. But he's not real, and so there's hope. I don't know. It's a horrible situation for this kid.
I feel. I hope the actor. What was his name?
On any social media.
I hope because he must be seeing
Lucas Hodgson
people like us saying, "Oh, isn't Will horrible?" I hope he gets.
Hope he knows that it is.
But as somebody so earlier in their career, it'd be so easy to take it as, God, they're criticising me, criticising my character. Am I doing a bad job?
I hope he. I mean, he must be. I don't know how old he is. He must be late teens, early 20s.
Yeah.
So he must. He's older than the character, so he has a bit more.
Yeah, but still, he's still young.
But it's hard to see criticism at any age of your character, because people can make weird assumptions about you.
If you just joined Coronation Street and you're in front of 4 million people 5 times a week. And you're going to think, oh, they hate me.
That must be really hard.
Yeah. But, they get media trained, don't they?
I really hope that they do.
Yeah, of course they do.
I know that, like the traitors and stuff, they have psychological welfare teams. I think that the villains of Corrie need that. I mean, we haven't even said anything about the lady who plays Megan.
Yeah. Because
she's doing a fantastic job. Beth Nixon.
Yeah, she's good, isn't she? I still I'm not in love with this story as a whole. I still stand by what a lot of people are saying and agree with them, that the Driscolls' new family in the pub, throwing them into this kind of seedy sort of story wouldn't be my choice. But yeah, I think that they're doing the right job for what they need to do. If we have to have this story, I suppose. So, where are we then?
Daniel admits to Adam about the pregnancy test thing, knocking him for 6, and Will overhears this, and Daniel's like, "What is your problem?" You can see him looking at him and glaring. Yeah. What's your problem, kid? And Will says, "You are. Just stay out of my life."
This is Will discovering that there is a pregnancy kit in
with Megan's name on it.
Yes.
But again, Daniel did not need to antagonise Will by going, "What's your problem?" He's a child, and you're not his teacher in a pub. And he shouldn't be behind the bar. That's my other thing.
Oh, he lives there. It's his house.
He shouldn't be behind the bar. I know that Maggie's mental, but Ben surely has got a bit of common sense. Like, you can't have your child standing behind the bar glowering at people all day long. That's all he seems to do.
That's Maggie's job, isn't it?
Well, yeah, that's what I mean. Like, why is he there? Why is he there? Anyway, on Thursday, it opens with Gary getting to admire some beautiful artwork.
You know, I'm not going to give him Character of the Week this week, but I did appreciate Mikey North's performance. Just to know those little subtle, he doesn't get much to do these days. That was some quality Willie admiring.
Move over, Banksy. There is a new graffiti artist in town, and it is Will. And Will's Willie is being admired on the side of Ken's car. Daniel, he's drawn hairs and everything.
I know, he's gone to,
Gary thinks it's hilarious.
Has he drawn anything spurting out of it or anything? Leave it to your own imagination.
Maybe he got disturbed. So
maybe you ran out of car.
Maybe. I don't know.
If it was a big American one, he could have.
Yeah, no, I don't agree with those cars on the road. I think we should all be driving Nissan Micras. So Will's in the pub later, and Ben's...
Are you really not allowed to show?
I know, I can't.
Before the watershed.
Because I'm sure...
A crudely jawed penis.
Crudely jawed.
Crudely drawn.
Drawn, yes.
Yeah.
I mean, you go...
How close? How badly a drawing? How bad a depiction... Are you allowed to get away with it being? If it doesn't really look like it, can you show it?
Because on the news, I'm sure, if they're like interviewing people on the street, they don't vet the graffiti.
Yeah.
I bet there's been loads of willies on the 6 o'clock news.
Yeah, even on the BBC.
And so Michelangelo with his willy out, that's fine, is it? But if a young man wants to express his discontent in the north of England, is he going to be silenced and... By Coronation Street of all people?
It's art. It's art, isn't it?
It is art. It's expression.
And he was expressing what a Willie he thinks that Daniel is.
And honestly, in this country, is it not an expression of our culture and heritage? I mean, people in this country have been carving giant cocks on the side of hills for centuries.
Yes.
It's part of our heritage.
Oh, yeah, that's very true.
I'm not going to have this be denied.
Anyway, it turns out that it's not even Daniel's car as it is Ken's.
I say
and I think that it is quite apt that Ken has one. You know, he's the cruiser of Weatherfield, isn't he?
He's like, I remember those days. I say free, he probably used to drive... free Willie is what I say.
He used to probably drive around with one that he drew himself on there going, "Hey ladies, just cruising around Weatherfield, picking you up. You want to see more of this? Get in the other side." I was. But Ken didn't need that, did he?
Well, it worked on me back in the day.
What?
When you picked me up in your car.
I thought you were saying you're another one of Ken's conquests. Unknown.
Right, so Will's in the pub later. Ben is mad at him because he's been suspended from school because they literally found the spray can in his locker and the paint on his hands.
Rookie mistake, Will.
Why did he take it to school for?
Is
he like, there's still some left in it? Throw it away.
I'm going to come back and draw a bum on the other side later.
Maybe, if I'm feeling fruity, I might put nipples on it and turn into boobs.
Yeah, I'll start off with a couple of bumps and I'll see where the mood takes me.
Right, so Gary's telling Maria all about this, and Toya's also in the pub listening to this.
Yeah, Toya she did a proper gossip look, didn't she?
Yeah,
she was in the booth next to them, and Gary's just having this brilliant time, holding the stage for the first time in who knows how long since you got bonked on the head by what's her face, Lou.
He's just reasserting his masculinity.
Maybe it was him that drew it.
I mean, maybe Will's.
I know what a willy looks like. I've got one. I'm a man. I don't get hit on the head by a woman.
With hairy balls.
Yeah, you're going to let Will take the fall for this. No, Toya's there just turning round in the booth going, "Ooh."
Oh, a willy on a car.
That was a proper soap lean that Toya did. Well done, girl.
Well, Maggie takes Will's side because he's got athletics championships.
Publicly, she does, yeah.
But then Will admits to her privately, that it was actually him, but Daniel deserved it. And Maggie's like, you've got to stop doing this. You're going to get in so much trouble if people find out you attacked him at Christmas. You need to be sweetness and light, okay? So Ben comes up to Daniel, Kent and Rita, who were in the cafe, and tells them that Will didn't do it. And Daniel says he did do it. They found the paint on his hands. And Ben's begging him.
Caught red-handed. Was
we
it
don't know
red?
what colour. We don't know what colour.
In my mind, it was a red one.
But what colour's the car?
I don't remember.
I want to know how far his artistic expression, like, did he think about contrasting colours? Can you imagine how mad you'd be if you bought a black spray paint and then you got out to the car and it's black? How he?
Yeah.
He's not even going to
He'd
know.
do it over the windscreen. It's all right.
Oh, that's a good idea. Have you ever spray painted anything? I've spray painted a candlestick.
Tasteful gold.
Yeah, I did.
Maybe it's a gold Willie or gold member.
Oh yeah, no, that's classy, that is.
I can't
That's
do
beautiful.
that accent, but I would.
Well, no, let's not even try.
That was the terrible film, Gold Member. Yeah,
Abby hated it. Right, so Daniel stands his ground, and also it's not his decision. He didn't, suspend this kid. It was Mrs. Crawshaw. Ben goes...
The way Ben talks to him, he's like assuming that Daniel runs the school now, doesn't he?
Well,
He's only been working there for 4 months.
I know. Daniel stands his ground, and then Ben goes, and Megan says, look, can you please just ask Orla, Mrs. Crawshaw, wrong.
I just write Orla. No, she doesn't say that. That was
if
me.
Will can take part in the tournament, because him not being there could affect my standing as a coach, actually. Like, well, no. I don't know what happens in the end.
He does. He gets allowed in.
He gets what?
He gets allowed to do the tournament.
That's not right.
I know. It's clearly not right.
The Tri-Wizard tournament. So Will meets Megan in the Ginnell, and he's mad for sleeping with Daniel, which he clearly has, if she thought the baby could be hers. And she says, look...
Oh, yeah, I forgot. Yeah. Because when he glowers, my initial reaction is he's just mad because there's this pregnancy test that's involved. But obviously the main problem that he has is, hang on a minute, you promised me that you'd stay chaste and that I was the only man for you. Mm-hmm. But no.
She says, I don't like doing it, but I had to. It's because I'm a spy. I imagine it's you. That was so gross. That was really disgusting. I love you. And he smiles and says he loves her too. And then she says that Daniel's going to have a word with Mrs. Crawshaw, and then he gets out of it. And then Megan books a termination.
Will kind of being accepting of it in a way, just because she said that she loved him. It's weird. Like,
but he's a child and she's manipulating him.
Yeah, I know. But
anything that's confusing about this storyline, you just say he's a child, she's manipulating him.
Okay.
On Friday, for some reason, they have this scene where Megan looks at Eva's phone and we find out she's got 12,000 photos, which I don't think is that odd.
Well, I don't understand why Eva... she's old, because we are old, and she's the same age as us-ish, isn't she? But why hasn't she got it hooked up to the cloud if she's got that many?
Well, why did she ask Megan?
You don't have 12,000 photos on your phone, because you've got it linked to Apple iCloud, or what have you, haven't you?
Millions of photos. How do I find out how many photos I've got?
I would have thought that... I don't think that many people... Because the other thing Eva says was, don't delete the music, I need that. Now, I've got loads of music on my phone, but I think that's, again, just a bit of an old... I just
stream music.
Everybody streams music. I have got lots of music stored on my phone because that's just what I did before streaming was a thing, and I just never took it off.
Okay, Michael, guess how many photos and songs I have on my phone.
On your phone,
on
right now?
On my phone, yeah. How many photos? How many songs?
I don't know now. I don't think you've got many songs because I think you stream a lot of it.
How many songs do you think I've got?
500.
How many photos do you think I've got?
Whenever I go to your phone to look at a photo, I always have to download it off the cloud.
I'm telling you what it tells me.
I was just going to say 500 for each.
I've got, on my phone, this is what it tells me, 37 songs.
37 songs?
And for photos, I've got 85,913.
Oh, crikey.
So I've got a few on there.
How'd you find that out? I want to know how many I've got.
On about. General.
Sorry, I know listeners, you are desperate to find out now how many I've got. How many songs do I have on my
300.
phone? More.
500.
More.
600.
I've got 1,852 songs on
and
my
they're
phone at the
all
moment.
by the same 3 people.
Yeah, pretty much. How many photos have I got?
I think you've got 10,000.
4,022.
Wow.
I have to delete them every now and then because
I know you shouldn't. You should sort your storage
it's all
out.
downloaded up. It's all uploaded to Google Photos. Anyway, what are we talking about? Yeah, Eva's doing that.
So it's weird.
It's just so that they can have a conversation about phones.
No, it wasn't. For what purpose?
I thought
She gets a message from... While Megan's looking at Eva's phone, Eva gets a message from Ben, which is Will's baby photo, and it makes Megan uncomfortable because not only is she sleeping with a child, but she also may be having a child. So there's a double whammy there.
Child, yeah.
Then
that wasn't very long ago, was
Leanne
it? That was 10 years ago.
Leanne decides it's open season for looking at everybody's phones and spies that Megan has got a message from the Weatherfield Reproduction Services and she's got an appointment at 2. So she goes off. She gets really awkward. They're talking about Billy's death and how precious life is, and she gets awkward about it.
Yeah, Megan does because she's about to end.
For whatever reason, Daniel asks Megan to take Bertie to school, which she kind of has to.
She gave a
and
reason,
then
but I don't
they
remember
walk
what it was.
past Will, and he goes, "Oh, looking after your boyfriend's kid, is it?" Like, anytime a woman on almost any programme, not just Coronation Street, is thinking about an abortion or a termination, hundreds of people crawl out of the woodwork to talk about motherhood and babies and children and
life precious?
You could be a mum one day. You be a great mum. Here's a baby. Look at this baby. I love babies. Do you love babies? You would never hurt a baby.
Don't work on Megan today, does it?
Well, she feels guilty about it.
Still does it though.
Yeah, well, she's as she should if she wants to. So Leanne and Eva find her crying on Martin's bench, and she won't say what's up. Then Leanne is like, well, just to say, I did spy on your phone and I saw that you've got an appointment at a certain place. She asks her, are you pregnant? And Megan nods and says she's going to go and get an abortion. So they decide that it's not a good place to talk about that. They go back to the Rovers, which is weird because normally people would have these conversations just in the middle of the street. They go back to the Rovers and she says... It's really hard and difficult because although I don't want this baby now, I have polycystic ovaries and it is very difficult for me to conceive naturally, I've been told. So this might be my only chance to have a baby.
I've not actually... What is polycystic ovaries?
Sorry,
I thought you knew. I thought you knew
about it. I did look this up, but I'm not...
I got a bit confused because...
a scientist.
I thought that was what Violet had in Corrie back then, but I don't think she did. I think she just had an ectopic pregnancy, but maybe she did.
So, reading off of Google, because I don't want to get this wrong and make stuff up, it is where you have underdeveloped follicles which fail to release eggs, which can lead to irregular ovulation. And I always heard it being referred to as polycystic ovary syndrome, but that is the hormonal disorder, I believe, that may be caused by having polycystic ovaries, but I don't. I
did a little Google search earlier of polycystic ovaries Coronation Street when I was trying to find out if anyone else had it before, and I found a Reddit post from 12 months ago saying, "Oh, wouldn't it be interesting if somebody had this syndrome, because I've got that?" And then the top reply was, "No, I think it'd be really boring, and I've got it too." It's just yet another... Oh, you've been on the street for a couple of months now. Sorry, I have to tell you that now you've got to reveal what your medical condition is, because obviously you're not allowed to stay on this programme for more than a week or two without having something horribly wrong with you.
Leanne makes this all about herself.
Oh, I thought that was a nice natural link. Felt bad for Leanne, getting a bit of an Ollie flashback.
Well, she says, I was told I couldn't have children, but Oliver came along and he's gone now.
Miracle
and he was
baby.
my miracle baby. And
that was really
crying.
nicely delivered bit.
And they think that she should probably tell Daniel because they assume, and they say, oh, is it Daniel's? And she's like, oh, there's no one else. But I can tell he doesn't want it. I've made up my mind. It doesn't mean you could never have children. It's just varying degrees of difficulty and you might need help.
I'm thinking she's probably going to be off the programme before the chance comes again. Yeah.
So she says, I've made up my mind. So Leanne then turns up at the appointment to be with Megan, which is really weird. What is Leanne going to think about this character once it all comes out?
Hopefully disgusted by her.
No, I know,
and the fact that she got so close to her.
Of course he will. That was,
What do you mean?
kind of like a hypothetical question. Like, she's going to be like, oh, so the one time I'm nice to somebody, bites me on the arse.
That taught me a lesson,
yeah,
didn't it?
everyone else can go hang. I don't care about anybody anymore. So, so she's like, Leanne really is latching onto this because of Oliver and her memories of not being told she can have a kid, then having a kid anyway. And she kind of feels as though she needs to make sure that Megan doesn't ever make a mistake in having a termination that she will later regret.
I think if there's any woman on Coronation Street that thinks that they can't have children, and I don't know why Toya hasn't tried this, to be honest, just a night in the sack with Steve McDonald to sort you right out.
Yeah. I mean, I don't
He
know
should
what
set
the
up
right...
his own sperm bank, shouldn't he?
I don't know what the right thing to do in this situation is, but I can't help but think that if you were ever going to regret having a termination, it might be brought on by somebody telling you that you're going to regret it.
Yeah.
I don't know that it's particularly useful for somebody you don't know turning up to tell you not to do it or to think harder about it. But Leanne thinks she's doing the right thing and her heart's in the right place, so
Exactly.
Megan carries on with it. Leanne goes back to the pub and tells Eva this has really made her think about Oliver and like, what's she doing with it? What am I doing with my life? Why am I still here? Why am I running a curry house? Why am I in Weatherfield? I hate it.
It is odd that she's running Speed Dial. How many times have we actually seen her in it? Like 3, 4?
Well, she goes, I need to get away. I'm going to sell Speed Dial. I'm going to start again somewhere hot. Then Maggie comes in and moans at Eva. And Eva says, you should buy Maggie out and own the pub with me.
Yeah, didn't she say something about, Maggie's always moaning about this place and she's not really into having it? I didn't really get that idea of impression from her. I thought that she was quite proud of having the Rovers.
I think Maggie likes moaning. So Will comes out.
I would go for an idea of Eva and Leanne teaming up together.
No, I don't like that idea because I don't want Toya to be left out.
She can join in too.
No,
they're friends now. I think that, we had the triumvirate of Dougie and Mike and Fred, and I think, why not the Battersby sisters? Maybe this is all what it's working towards. I know Toya's already had a crack at it and it didn't work too well, but maybe it was just because it was Peter that was her right-hand man and not her sisters.
Don't go much on it, to be honest with you. So...
No, give the Driscolls a chance.
Eva, Will comes out and asks about Megan, and Eva says, look, I think she's not doing very well. Then Daniel and Megan are in the bistro, and Will is trying to phone her up, and Toya is like comically stressed about her bad day, and that fact that Nick made Jodie a lasagna. The end.
Oh, was that the end of it? Sorry, I was too busy.
Yes.
Too busy with the cat. This story was all right this week. How... Any kind of overall reaction to this at this stage? I still think that the Driscolls are feeling a little bit new. I think I just stand by what I said earlier, that it's a bit of a grubby storyline to get into straight away. I don't like that Megan is like the only representation of women living with polycystic ovaries on Coronation Street. I think it's a bit crap for people who are going through that. I think it was just chucked in to give her a reason to cry. But I don't think it's going to come to anything. The embellishment is starting to get a bit obnoxious because I do think that you don't need to have to throw something else on the top to have somebody be upset about having a termination. Totally not. Was it just a 30-second raising awareness of something? Just tick a box. I don't like it. I think that somebody else could have had that story if they want to make it one or give it. I also don't know that I would tell women I don't know this. I know that some women are very open about stuff. Well, Megan knows Eva well enough by this point, doesn't she? I don't think I would tell a random... no, she is random. But she was in an emotional state. And I think that sometimes when you're very upset, you might just blurt things out through the tears. I'm a very private person. I wouldn't tell this to anybody. Okay. Right. Shona story, Gemma. Shona and Jonah. Joni, Jodie, Shoujo. What's been going on with the Platts? I will tell you. We learn that Shona's still in the hospital at the beginning of the week, isn't she? And she's telling David a bit about Jodie, who was apparently a half-sibling. And I think it's through the dad. I don't know whether they said, did they?
I think they said something that made me think it was the father.
I can't remember.
Because I think that Jodie or Shona says, what about your mum? Or something like that.
Oh, okay, I missed that. So basically we find out that they did live together and clearly got a tattoo together at some point. And then Shona left home and didn't come back.
I don't know if they were actually raised together their whole lives.
No, I'm not really sure, but anyway, I'm sure it'll come out or not if it's important. Shona is still telling Jodie that she really can't do us right now, and says, "Look, honestly, just give me a number. I will phone you when I'm ready." Because this is what she said last week, wasn't it? And I was wondering whether Jodie would be away from the programme for a bit, but apparently they're all in on her. I think we're going to get an awful lot of appearances for this Jodie this year. I got a feeling she might be top 10 or 20 material. Anyway, she puts her number into David's phone and then says, "Oh, isn't it fate that we're together? It's like the universe wanted us to meet up again. We were in the crash too. Ooh, what are the chances of that?" And then Jodie goes outside, which David finds her at, and she's having a bit of a moment on the hospital bench when she turns on her phone and she's being deluged by voice message. So she's also, like Megan, got a bit of a mystery caller, and it's still, I think we're still none the wiser at the moment about who this is, aren't we? It's like is it somebody related to Graham who was transporting her, or somebody else? I don't know. Maybe someone related to these kids that she's got in the picture of the locket, sorry. Deborah's not interested. Anyway, David finds her and takes pity on her and says, "Oh, look, you look like you're in a bit of a bad way." She starts having a panic attack or something, so he takes her in.
I thought she was getting an allergic reaction to a sandwich. I did.
No, it's not. She says, I'm gonna go and check into the local homeless shelter tonight, and David's like, "No, don't worry about it. We've got a spare room at our house." They're probably just talking about Audrey's annex. They're going to make her sleep out in the shed or something. But no, there's Max's room upstairs you can stay in. You can stay here if you like. And he takes her home. And I genuinely thought that David was going to come back the next day and the house would have been raided. But they didn't want to go down that route. I mean, Jodie's clearly got secrets, hasn't she? So we clearly don't know everything about her. But do you think that on the whole she's going to end up being a trustworthy person, or is she going to cause chaos? Is she going to be a wrong un? Is she going to, be cast away back again, or is she going to be welcomed into the heart of the Platts and just be the new Platt Ramsey person in the future?
Can I say I was given whiplash by this story, because the way that Shona reacted to Jodie the first time she saw her, it felt very obvious that there was some kind of really bad blood between the two of them. Something terrible had happened. Jodie had done something, or Shona had done something, betrayed her, or something awful, or like Jodie
felt that way.
And then the following week, Shona's like, "Oh no, I just felt guilty because I left them. I left her there." Like, I don't buy that. Your reaction was so weird, and not at all. It didn't make sense. I thought it was either just done to be sensational during the week, which I don't agree with.
A bit cliffhangery, yeah.
Or there's more to it, but she's lying to David, which makes no sense because she's not very good at lying. The character of Shona isn't.
Yeah.
I think it's obvious that Jodie is up to something. She's going to cause trouble. I don't know. I think she's going to end up trying to seduce either David or Nick or both.
It wouldn't surprise me. She reminds me a bit, and again, it always just feels like the ITV3 classic Corrie stories. There's something there running in parallel to what's going on here. But we've just had Violet's sister Lauren turn up, and I don't know how much you remember about Lauren.
I really liked her.
Did you?
Yeah, I did.
But she was a bit of a scally, wasn't she? And Kylie, sometimes they'll have these sisters be swanned in out of the blue and just generally not be very nice. And I don't know, Lauren, I wouldn't say that she stood the test of time whatsoever. And I don't know, it's still early days. Shona and Julia Goulding they just ooze charm. And I had not quite getting that from Jodie yet, and that's no kind of slight on the actress. Maybe
it took a long time for that to happen with Shona. I mean, for me, it took a bin shot in a box. For me to like it.
I was always keener on Shona straight away, but I think that Jodie is still purposefully being a little bit subdued and a bit enigmatic, and she's not supposed to be beautifully, charmingly likable. You're supposed to be a little bit wary of her. I don't know.
I know, but it feels, to me, it feels a bit like Corrie have gone, look, I'm sick and tired of you saying that all of our urchins that turn out to have a heart of gold but are scallies to begin with are blonde.
Yeah.
We can do a brunette one. We're not just one-trick ponies.
Are we going to have, when is Jodie going to go and live with Roy for a little bit?
Probably.
To go through the...
Yeah, through the what's it? It's the whitewashing.
Yeah.
What's it called when you do that with money? Money laundering.
Yeah.
Emotional money laundering.
It's the initiation ceremony, isn't it? Anyway, David goes back to the hospital and Shona's there getting ready. She's getting home already, so he has to break the news to her that Jodie is crashing at their place at the moment, which she's not too pleased about.
But why?
Well, because she's just been involved in a horrible car crash and had a baby, and I think she probably doesn't. I know, but a sister that she hasn't spoken to for nearly a decade.
But then the way she acts with her is so weird.
I think I could probably.
But she's close to her, and she takes to her immediately, and they act like sisters. So why? I think
it could be explained away that you feel guilty about not being there for her for all this time. And maybe there was, maybe they last had an argument the last time they saw each other or something. But actually, when you get to know them again, you kind of think, put them on a bit of a rose-tinted glasses and say, oh, this is just a bit like old times.
Do you think that maybe Jodie, maybe there was more to it, and Shona now thinks that Jodie's forgiven her, but really, she's holding a grudge still, and it's all going to come out.
She could be. That's not a bad call, actually. I wonder could they have done it where Shona completely didn't recognise Jodie as part of her brain thing. Like, she's got most of her memories back from the past.
But just not you.
Just not the fact that she had a sister, yeah. Anyway, Nick turns up, and this is an interesting little series of scenes, wasn't it? This is why
I think that
Nick versus Jodie
together.
So he comes around the house and he's like, who are you? And she's like, who are you? And they end up having a bit of an arms fold off, don't they? And Nick just being utterly petulant.
And Nick's not using his any logic whatsoever to accuse a woman of breaking into someone else's house and then putting on a dressing gown.
Yeah. That was quite funny. As much as I would welcome anybody coming in between Nick and Toya and splitting them up, I don't know.
You know what? I like them together.
I don't know whether that's going to happen. But she definitely seemed to be making eyes at David today when she was warming up his veggie lasagna, which she was claiming to have cooked herself.
I know that she's a wrong. And who would take credit for a vegetable lasagna?
Nick is such a I can't remember. How would you describe that behaviour from Nick?
Cooking a vegetable lasagna?
No, just the way he is towards Jodie.
Beta male.
What's that? What?
That's just me being Andrew Tate about it. A man cooking a vegetable lasagna.
No, the fact that he's there. Did his balls fall off? What? Why is he getting into petulant, childish?
Because he's going to shag her.
No, he's not. Well, he didn't know that at the moment, does he?
It's immediate magnetism.
Blame his brain injury.
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, they get home and they probably introduced to Nick, and Jodie has got bruises on her arms, hasn't she? Shona notices, and this is clearly the bruises from when she was tied up in the back of Graham's van. So Shona's like, what's going on here then?
Look, Weatherfield... Well, no, they went to Hotton, didn't they? Hotton General.
Yeah.
Hotton General needs to be investigated for safeguarding failures, because that not only did they not notice Debbie had bruises in the wrong place, but they also obviously haven't investigated Jodie.
Yeah, you're right, actually.
Like, are you tied up in the back of a car? I can see you've got bruises on your wrist, but you say it's fine, so I'm just going to leave it.
Maybe Jodie just says it's just from that elastic band that I have that I sometimes flick there to...
conversion therapy. Okay, all right.
Yeah, don't
We've heard that story before. We're not doing another one of those stories, so we'll just discharge you.
Jodie is quizzed about these bruises later from Shona, and David's in the room to hear it too. It's all very open, and Jodie kind of blames a bloke. She doesn't really go into it too much, does she? But she paints a picture that she was in a bad relationship, tried to get away from it, and that's when she got caught up in this accident. Oh, what the chances of that? But it was fate, us coming together, sis. I mean, it's clearly a lie, but Shona.
She says I can't report it because his best mate's a copper.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but if my even my estranged sister turned up with bruises that look like restraints on her wrist, I wouldn't let it lie.
No.
It's not like I've got a bruise because we had a fight.
No.
It's I've been restrained with some kind of device.
And David, rather than being worried about Jodie, is more concerned that they're going to have some bloke banging at their door sometime.
I know, and imagine if he's brought his recycling with him and he just puts it in their bin.
Shona says, well, when I walked out on the family all the years ago, I promised I'd be back, and then I didn't, and I just don't want to talk about it. I don't want to get put the cat among the pigeons here.
This is when she explains why she was reluctant to speak to Jodie in the first place.
Yes.
And why is she called Jodie and we've got a Janie? I don't know,
we've said
but
that
it's very
already.
difficult.
Very confusing. Jodie puts a SIM card in the bin later.
Very theatrically.
Doesn't she?
If you're going to do anything with a SIM card in Coronation Street, you have to do it really. You have to hold it from a great height and look at it studiously before you throw it somewhere.
Yeah.
And I would recommend a drain, but she's gone with the bin method.
Well, I hope that she's backed all her photos up to the cloud, because, we had this problem with Betsy getting her new phone a couple of weeks ago, didn't she? And how is she going to keep them? But
do you think that she's got 37 songs on there?
It's got 12,000 photos. All from the inside of a van. Thursday, we only had a couple of scenes on Thursday. Jodie's got the Pop-Tarts in, which is a surefire way of getting in anyone's good books, as far as I'm concerned. Shona's saying, I didn't know that they did them anymore.
And
like,
she
do you
says,
never go to a supermarket?
I bought them from the shop on the corner, so you are not looking at all.
I love a Pop-Tart, but they're not as good as they were when we were little.
They're terrible.
Oh, well, I know they are, but I'm sure that there's not quite as much icing coverage on them these days. There's an awful lot of pastry you get, and
I like the weird flavours you get in the American shops.
Yeah, well, I'm sure when we were younger they had more of a range of flavours, and then they just and now they just kind of narrowed it down to strawberry and chocolate, which is really dull. But yeah, usually in the American aisle you get your s'mores flavours and all that.
Yeah, we remember when we had that 80s.
I was going to say we had an 80s party. God, that must have been 15 years or so ago.
A whole weekend, and we all dressed
all
up.
Varieties of Pop-Tarts.
And then the next morning we ate Pop-Tarts and watched cartoons. It was great.
Yeah, in our shell suits.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
I remember when Pop-Tarts came out and the advertising worked on me, because I demanded that Mum get us Pop-Tarts, and we went through quite a phase of having Pop-Tarts. I gave up my Weetabix for a little while for those.
Wow, your bowels must have been in chaos.
They can they burn your mouth, don't they, if you put them in the toaster more than 10 seconds or something.
Maybe Jodie's trying to kill her.
Yeah, maybe. Anyway, they're going to go and see Harper. They do.
She gets bleeding.
Huh?
Oh, that's later.
That's later on. So they go to see Harper in the incubator, and Shona tells Jodie and us that this tumour's going to be removed in a few months when Harper is feeling a bit better.
Well, they also talk about children.
Yes, because I couldn't remember whether, and I suppose she must have done, Jodie knew about Clayton, but of course Clayton would have been around when they were both together before in a family. And Jodie says, oh yeah, well maybe I'd like kids one day. This is just like Debbie, isn't it? Just happening to mention, oh maybe kids are, I don't know, and it turns out you actually got some. Anyway, Jodie's looking shifty at the end of the episode, and then as we find out in the next episode, it's because she's got a little locket with some twins in, a couple of siblings of her own, hasn't she? She's got a little Charlie and a little Lexi in there.
Aww.
What goes on? Oh, more baby bloody drama on Friday. Fridays was so miserable, and we get a bit of a Frankie flashback here, don't we? Because there's something wrong with Harper. Oh, she needs a blood transfusion. What's going to happen there? Oh my gosh, it was miserable.
Children on Coronation Street are in mortal peril, aren't they?
Yeah.
I think that Dee Dee's taken the only healthy baby.
Yeah, get it away from Weatherfield. She's the best mother of the year.
Before the there's obviously some kind of nuclear waste storage that's leaking somewhere. They don't have that in Singapore.
All those inset days they'd had at the school because of a leaky gas pipe, but they didn't realise the leaky nuclear storage pipe.
No, it's because the kids turn up for school and the teacher's like, no, you can't come in. There's a leaky gas pipe and there's like hazmat people and like government
walking
helicopters
around like Chernobyl,
hovering, and like all these military police marching up and down with machine guns.
This story this week is like, I kind of felt like I wanted to like it more, but yeah, Jodie hasn't quite ingratiated herself enough to me yet.
She's also not been clearly a villain enough for me to like her.
Yeah, and again, they've kind of seemed to have thrown her into a bit of a dark story. She doesn't seem like fun yet. I hope that her and Shona can have a few fun sistery scenes, because although she's clearly a bit dodgy, the fact that she was tied up in someone's van is like, well, you've been a victim somewhere, so we're probably going to need to feel sorry for you at some point and, root for you. So give us a bit more of a reason to root for you at the moment.
Everyone's a victim or a perpetrator in this show at the moment, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, totally. Right, Gemma. Finally.
I wonder what Harper's done. Don't trust her.
We've been harpering on for quite a while at this stage, considering there was only 4 half-hour episodes. Gemma, we've got to say goodbye to dear Becky Swain in this storyline, because last Friday's episode, it was like, oh, this is just the beginning of the next stage of Becky's evil plan to take down Lisa Swain. Nope, 1 episode later and she is gone.
She's off.
Amy Cudden posted on her Instagram on Monday saying, hey, hooray, that's me done in Coronation Street. And in fact, that was possibly a little bit of a spoiler there, because I was like,
No, it wasn't really. Well,
it wasn't a spoiler, because I could have...
People didn't believe us when we said that she was gone.
I could have watched
which is weird.
That episode and not realised that she was gone, so I suppose fair enough for putting it on there.
I don't know what
sometimes
they
need
can
to
do.
be told these things.
I don't know what they can do about these. I don't know how they can get around being ambiguous.
Would you like to have a quick rundown of exactly how that came to pass?
Well, Carla and Lisa are in the house together for some reason. I don't know why.
Well,
Maybe Carla's just picking stuff up.
Yeah, she's just hanging around, isn't she?
It's funny that she's taken her stuff out, but everything's still in there.
She's got a lot of stuff.
I know, but it makes me think that Lisa picked all the decoration. She's like, I'm taking this fashion book. You don't understand fashion. And I don't understand policing, and that's why we're never going to be a couple again.
Take my heron screen. Thank you very much.
Yeah. What's this fire that was in this? Why is there a broken window? So, as she goes to leave the house, Lisa says, oh, I saw Becky the other day. She's going to drag me down with her. She's threatened me. And Carla says, well, she won't do that. And Lisa says,
drama queen,
if she does, can you look after Betsy? And Carla says, yeah, all right then. And then Betsy's listening to this on the staircase. Carla goes to work and everyone's really happy to see her, but then she talks to Betsy about her mum saying to her, Mum wants you to look after you, and she's very nice to her. And then Betsy's like, oh, I'm ill, I'm going home. Again, she's a terrible employee, Betsy. It's a good job that Carla likes her mum, isn't it?
Yeah.
Betsy, who knows what's going to happen there.
They're just waiting.
Waiting
for the right moment.
Betsy goes to the prison to see Becky and has a go at her and brings up Mason. And a lot of people are very happy to see this, I'm sure, because it felt as though the fact that Mason died to protect Becky's secret has kind of been brushed under the carpet.
Yeah, I mean,
Betsy hasn't forgotten.
No, but why is she remembered now? Could she have more... Has this been bugging her all year?
No, it doesn't feel... It feels like she should have realised this before her mum turned out to be evil.
But they could have very easily given her a little nudge, because it was the anniversary just last week, wasn't it? So if there'd been a little Mason tribute or something, that could have made Betsy go, hang on a minute. But I think I felt kind of watching this scene that she was just kind of grasping at something, and the storyliners, the writers, whoever, wanted to... I like the idea of Betsy as the daughter being the one to shun her mum, but we've seen such an about turn from her. She was like, she thought the sun out of Becky's arse, didn't we? Just a couple of weeks ago, and now it's like, you always lie, I never want to see you again. I don't know. It just feels a little bit too speedy for me. Don't you think?
I don't. I have no thoughts on it.
it's neat for the story, because I don't think that we need to have Betsy kind of lingering resentment of Carla or anyone or Lisa for having a mum banged up.
This story is being sped run into oblivion.
Well, it's been going on long enough, I think.
I know, but it feels like if you're going to have a story last for months, you've got to give it an ending that is...
And answer some questions.
Yeah, that kind of pays respects to the length of the story and how complicated you made it. You can't just go, well, this is what they've done. Look, it's over now. Stop talking about it, please.
Yeah.
So Betsy has a go at her and says, you know, Mason died because of you, and I loved him, and he's dead. You kidnapped Carla. You're not my mum anymore. You're nothing to me. And Betsy.
At least we're not going to get these confused. I know. I was just thinking that.
Corey's like, oh yeah, Becky confused you. What about Jodie and Joni? How'd you like that? So Becky says, like, I was an idiot, but I didn't plan for this to happen. She tries to defend herself, but Betsy's not having it and says, I wish you died like Mason did. Then Lauren finds Betsy moping on the bench back at Corrie HQ, tells her about how she's probably ruined everything. Then we get this like sexy lady boss
I can't remember what they called her, but she was credited with a name. She's just taken over Costello's office.
She's like,
there,
listen,
hasn't she?
They haven't given me a personality, so I'm not going to be in it anymore. Okay, I'm just here to wrap up the pieces and tell you not to worry about anything.
But basically, she was. Yeah, I bet she's great at covering up evidence when she's doing her investigations.
Yeah, like that's inconvenient. I didn't see that.
She's bent this cover, isn't she?
Who is she? Is she? Oh,
anyway, They didn't particularly want to explain who she was unless we missed it.
Literally, she could have gone.
There's somebody else that works there now.
I've been brought in from police headquarters by the king.
But you know, to be fair,
to kick some ass.
If the DI has been put in hospital, you'd kind of want to have a replacement one.
But she's been there. She should have been there like weeks ago when he got mugged last year. Where's she been? It's like somebody in charge of the police have gone.
I'm saying that maybe they shipped her in from another station to take over Jerome's.
But she should have been there before now.
Well, I don't know.
And she's only just calling Lisa in. Lisa, what are you doing at work, love? You should be at home. You've just been in an accident. Your wife's bent. She's got 12 years in prison, by the way, and she didn't grass you up. So how about that?
Oh yeah, that was the big worry, wasn't it, about whether she was going to take Lisa down with her, and it turns out she didn't because she's got a heart after all.
No, because Betsy told her that she's a cow, and she believed it.
Yeah.
So
I'm gonna believe Becky right till the end.
Inspector
she's got a good heart in there somewhere.
Inspector Sexpot goes, right, Becky's gone down for 12 years. You're going to get investigated, but I'm going to find you. Nothing wrong with you. Because it's too boring. We're moving on from this storyline, okay?
Nobody wants any
police
more corruption investigation storyline, do they?
But I hope if I, Inspector Sexpot, stay in this show and lurk on the periphery for 2 or 3 years, I could have my own storyline and be made a regular. Yeah. So just keep me out of it. So then we get cut to Becky.
Final Becky scene.
Poor
Becky.
She's on her cell bed. She's hearing chants.
I didn't know whether that was supposed to be remembering chants or whether she's hearing them through the walls.
Or she's projecting to the future and being dramatic.
Chants, they're all just saying, cop scum, you're evil.
They weren't really enthusiastic about it. I think they should have got some of those Institute people in.
Yeah, Becky would. Maybe that's part of the initiation at Weatherfield Prison, or what was it, Norcross Prison. They give them a malware session.
Yeah, she was having a malware session. They're like, filth, cop scum, or whatever.
Stupid coat.
Bad fashion. Becky's like, no one's going to know. I'm going to be undercover in here for once. Nobody's going to know my secret because we're all wearing the same clothes.
Still got the same red tabard on.
I don't care if they know I was a cop.
Yeah, so we're kind of left with the impression that she's not going to have the best time in prison, aren't we?
Do you feel like that was do you feel like...
It just happened really quickly. I really wasn't ready to say goodbye to her because you know that I very much enjoyed watching Becky.
I don't find this satisfactory at all.
It's like she could have gone down in a blaze of glory in Corriedale, but
yeah, why didn't they kill her off in Corriedale? And also, when people get gleeful about what so-called prison justice is, I think it's a bit grim. Like, you know, all the, watch out, don't pick the soap up in the shower. You deserve it because you did something. I don't, you know, and you're in prison. She's going to have a hard time because she's a cop scum, but actually she was a bent copper, so she should be lauded for being corrupt.
Yeah,
I wasn't a proper cop, I was a really crap one.
I wonder whether,
I was part of a gang.
I wonder whether any of Curtis's cronies are in that prison, because he might have had some lady cronies, mightn't he?
I know, it's just really unsatisfactory.
Is there anyone else? I can't remember if there's any other female characters that we know of that are in there at the moment.
It just felt a bit like they weren't taking her seriously as a villain, because at the end of it, she was punished by crying on her bed. You know,
well, no, she was published by her daughter abandoning her. That's a pretty big...
Men villains get killed, or, you know, they go down and they don't care and they're like, rah, do it again if I have a chance. But because she's a woman, it's like, oh, she's sad, look, she's crying. That's the worst thing that could happen to a lady. She's crying. She's probably on her period as well. Oh dear.
She's longed for that family. She's longed to be back with Betsy all these years, I believe, and now that person has said, "I don't want anything to do with you."
I get what you're saying. I am just like pushing back on saying, let's have a female Corrie villain like Maya. Let's have her burn in a ball of flame or something.
Still alive. People have been saying
maybe she's going to hook up with Maya in there. She should still be in prison, surely.
No, what? 20 years later, she only set a couple of shops on fire.
She only tried to kill Sunita, and she died eventually anyway. Do you think you should get away with it if the person you tried to kill just dies anyway? It's like, well, look, life had it out for him.
It was obviously fate.
You were obviously trying to carry out the universe's wishes the first time.
People have been saying online that they are wondering whether Becky is going to get killed off, and so that Betsy and Lisa are going to feel guilty about wishing death upon her.
No, don't.
I don't need that. Really don't need that. Although I did make that joke on the short the other day about the prison contact scheme or whatever that Roy's using to get in touch with the prisoner.
Who was he talking to?
I don't know. Still don't know. No clue. Not been brought up. It's not been forgotten. These things are not forgotten. They're just no. It's not. Is it? It's purposely obviously had a meaning. So they just don't want to do it.
Loads of things happen.
Some things do get forgotten, but you don't introduce something like this and say then forget it.
Well, look, there are lots of reasons why things like that might happen, and I'm not saying this is not me saying this at all. But for example, an actor might get sick right as they're going to start a story, and they just go, "We're just going to not do that story." So I'm just saying that there are reasons that beyond they forgot about it.
I do wonder though, is Roy going to hear about Becky's death if it happens via a prisoner, and that's why he's got it and he can tell Carla? Although I suppose Lisa would be told, wouldn't she? Because Lisa's still her wife.
I know.
That's the reason why Becky needs to get killed off, because this wedding that is clearly going to happen between Carla and Lisa cannot happen at the moment while Lisa is still alive. Not Lisa is still alive. Becky is still alive. Well, one or the other. And then, so...
That's why she should have
Unless Becky... I suppose they could very easily write it and say, Becky's decided to back down and she knows when she's beat, so she's decided to grant a divorce. That could happen.
If she's going to remove her threats, she's going to not hold up the wedding.
I don't know.
I don't like the idea that because she's a woman, she's like, my daughter asked me specifically for something, so I'm just going to do it, because actually, even though I was an evil villain for years and deceitful and murderous, I am still a mother after all. Come on. Don't be pussies. Kill her off.
I want to know if...
Not that I wanted her to die, but I
want to know if any of the questions that are unanswered are actually going to get some sort of answer, like, who was she speaking to on the phone? Who made the website? What exactly was Costello's involvement in this? Is he bent? Was he bent? Is he not? He's still got that house, hasn't he, that was apparently made with...
And what does he know about Kit? And is Kit going to be pulled into this? Some of these are boring. Some of these are very boring. I don't care who made the website.
It really, really, really isn't over yet. But I'm going to say...
It is.
If they didn't answer those questions, I wouldn't be too sad. Because I'm ready for it to be done, quite frankly. Just to ask somebody at Corrie, I'm sure they know.
No, this is the world that we live in, right? There aren't going to be answers, but they could still give us the answers in another format.
It can't be the end we've seen of Costello, can it?
Yes.
No.
Yes.
He'll be back.
Why?
Back. I just think he will.
What?
He
How?
will.
In what way? For what purpose?
Well, he'll just be loitering around having a bit of a lurk, won't he?
Why? He's been uncovered as a corrupt officer, and his house was bought with blood money. They know this. They've said this.
Do they?
Yes.
Oh, I don't know.
He's not out of the woods.
Oh, all right then.
You're scrolling but all the way back, and there's an entire section here.
Oh yeah, sorry, I forgot that wasn't the end of the episode.
Lisa gets home, and Betsy says, "I went to go see Becky. I think I might have made things worse." And Lisa says, "No, you didn't. It's all over. We'll never have to see her again. She's in prison for 12 years. We'll be judged by then." Carla comes in just to check on Betsy.
Written out by that point.
And Betsy says, "We're having a takeaway. Why don't you stay with us and eat it? We're not going to have pineapple on pizza. Unless you're the one that liked it. I can't remember." Carla says, "Lisa's not happy that I'm here. I'm going. Got work to do." So she leaves.
The reunion's for another week. We're not in it for the rest of this week,
so
I don't want to commit for anything at the moment.
Yeah, she's very frosty. She goes. Lisa is left with Betsy, saying they're going to be okay, and that's it.
She kisses her on the head a few times.
So they're
the
okay.
end of that.
Becky's leaving them alone, but Carla and Lisa, as of now, are still not together.
So that's it for this week's Street Talk. I thought, it was ups and downs. I think Thursdays was clearly the standout episode with Debbie's trial and the big reveal. There was a lot of other stuff that just didn't quite hit it for me. I was a bit ho-hum about, I think. I think if had Thursdays not happened, I probably would have scored lower, but I'm just going to go back to my usual score of 3.5 hairs on the out of 5.
I made the cat look up.
You, darling?
I'm going to give this 3...
Ooh, just 3.
3 cruel girl summers.
What? Oh yeah, she was, wasn't she?
Yeah.
3 not that great slaps out of 5. Character
I'd
of
like
the
to see
week.
you do it.
Character of the week this week.
Debbie.
It's hard to argue against Debbie. It feels like she's the
Todd,
default, and she shouldn't be.
Todd, Theo,
Summer. Some Summers. Harriet's doing a good job.
I might give it to Summer because I think she's. I think we're seeing what Corrie saw in Harriet Bibby when they gave her the summer fainting stuff. Like, she is fantastic at being just totally vulnerable and lost and sad and tragic, and you just want to give her a hug and make everything okay. And she's just really doing a fantastic job of mourning and just being confused and upset and like angry. She's really super convincing, and it's just a shame that it's taking Corrie this long to unlock the reason why we would feel empathy for Summer when she's having these emotions. And it's also really bad that like I didn't care at all when she was fainting all over the place. I'm sorry, Summer. I apologise. I'll give you character of the week to make up for it.
It's really difficult for me because like Debbie was a bit silly pleading guilty this week, wasn't she? But she was still probably the character that I was most interested in what she was doing.
What about Alia for brandishing a pregnancy disc? It's
not mine.
It's not mine. Oh my God, whose could this be?
I quite enjoyed Daniel. Shona's always good for a laugh.
Oh, what about
David.
Jodie? What about Nick?
No.
What about the vegetable lasagna? What about Toya?
Vegetable lasagna. Toya Battersby, official Battersby.
I'll tell you what.
And Ben's always a good shout as well.
Can I just quickly add something before we go?
Yeah.
I'll let you think a little bit more about your character. I can't believe that they've done this to us. We thought it was all over with Becky, and we wouldn't have to worry about this
Becky
anymore.
character of the week.
But now she has passed the mantle of hideous coat wearer to Toya, because what the hell was that she was wearing? It's horrible.
It was quilted with all those condolence cards in the lining.
It's just stuffed with sad memories.
I'd give up and give it to Debbie. It was bloody Debbie this week. Ich gebe das... Oh, no, I don't know how to say character in German. Mutti. This is für die Mutti. Die Mutter.
Are you going to make a coherent sentence in German?
Debbie ist gut.
I could have told you that one.
Yeah. All right.
I can't believe you got first.
Mostly for the French, I'm going to say.
Say it in French then.
Mon personnage de la semaine, c'est Deborah.
I could have said that as well.